Most photographers and videographers never make it past the $500 per project mark. They have incredible creative skills, but zero business foundation. After teaching hundreds of creatives in my program and building my own multi-six-figure photo and video business, Pieta Productions, I'm giving away the complete business foundation for free in this 2.5-hour course. You're getting everything you need to build your business, from the very basics, like picking a profitable niche and social media strategy, all the way to setting up your LLC, and even the technical stuff like setting up your email accounts properly so that they land in your client's inbox folder rather than their spam folder like most creatives screw up. I'm also giving you the complete roadmap of how you can scale from $0 per month to $20,000 per month and beyond, including the specific actions to take at each revenue stage. And this is the same roadmap that hundreds of our Creative Biz Launch members have used to build their own businesses. Now, throughout the video, I'll be mentioning tools and relevant resources, and there are affiliate links in the description where I earn a commission and you get discounts on the tools I actually use and recommend. And my favorite part is there is a custom GPT companion trained on my years of business knowledge that you can use while watching this video to get instant answers to any implementation questions. Now, this video is timestamped with all the lessons, so feel free to jump around, grab a notebook and a coffee, and let's build your photo and video business foundation. How to start your business. I'm really excited to dive into this one. This video is going to be a big overview of what it actually takes to start a business, a lot of common misconceptions around building a photo or video design business, and a lot of things I want to tell you that'll get you set up for success long term. The goal here, it's not to build a business for the short term. We don't want to build a business that does revenue this month and next month and then fizzles out. And that happens to a lot of people. What we want to do is build a business for long-term success. That's what I'm here to teach you. I'm here to teach you how to build a business foundation and not rely on a get-rich-quick scheme, but rather rely on a proven system that's going to get you results for many months and years to come. The goal here is to build a business that actually makes us happy, that provides income for us, and gives us freedom. So with this, let's walk through the overview of how to actually start a business. Now, I'll preface this by saying it's going to take a lot of time to actually build a business. There's no get-rich-quick scheme. Those things don't exist. And if they do, you're going to either go to jail or you're going to fizzle out and burn out and nothing good will come of it. So we're building a business foundation. Now, luckily, I've done this already. I've gone through all the mistakes myself so that you don't have to, and I'll be teaching you this today. So I've taught my Creative Biz Launch system to hundreds of paying clients. I've taught a similar system to a lot of my social channel followers, so on YouTube, on Instagram, a kind of free version of what you're learning here today. But this is the real deal. This is the real meat and potatoes of this system. So using these methods that you'll be learning throughout the whole Creative Biz Launch system, I've been able to generate 50K plus a quarter from my product photography and video business. And that's really good for a photographer, I would say. My photography and videography clients, the ones inside of Creative Biz Launch, they've built 6-figure businesses. They've done 10K plus months and even had many, many 5-figure projects, and not $10,000 projects, but higher 5-figure projects, right? So this stuff that I'm teaching you, it works. There's a proven track record of myself. It's worked for my students, it's worked for my clients, and it can work for you, but only if you put in the work. Now, I give you these numbers, I give you all this here just to prove to you what's possible if you put in the work. And you can build the business of your dreams, and I'm here to give you that foundation. So let's get started. Most creative business advice online focuses on the wrong stuff. This is something I truly believe in. Too many people will teach the creative part without any focus on the business side. Now, there's nothing, this isn't a bad thing necessarily, but they're making it seem to be that all you have to do to get clients is be really good with your camera. And that's not the reality. A lot of people will go to photography school or film school, and they're going to learn a lot about how to take beautiful photographs, how to tell a story, how to shoot a film, how to create a captivating narrative, how to get the best cinematic shots. And this stuff is all important, but it doesn't pay the bills. People who go through this will learn all this stuff really, really well and become masters of their craft. But the promise of film school is not to make you money. The promise of film school is to give you the resources and skills so you can make films. So that what happens is 99% of people will struggle and they won't be able to make much money from that. Will have to take odd jobs to pay their bills. Meanwhile, 1% of those students will go on, work in Hollywood, work with the big publications, and make a lot of money. So This model is kind of broken because it's going to reward the 1% for really getting lucky and getting into the industry, and the others will kind of be left struggling to pay their bills. So I'm here to teach you the business side. How can we use our creative skills and actually build a business around that? Because most of the creatives I know, they're really good at the creative work, but they struggle at business, okay? So my goal here, I want to give you the tools. I want to give you the skills, everything you need to start making money, to start landing clients, to keep clients coming back for more, to charge what you're worth, all this good stuff. And we're doing that by learning the business skills, okay? So we're gonna build a business foundation first, and then we're gonna add creative on top of that. So what we're gonna start doing is we're going to learn how we can actually generate revenue from using our camera. This will be amazing because it's going to give you some security, it's going to give you freedom, it's going to give you extra time to do whatever you want. So we're focusing on generating revenue with our cameras. Now, after we've learned how to do this stuff, we'll still have plenty of free time to be able to have passion projects, to be able to do whatever creative work we want with our cameras as well. But first, we need that security, we need that freedom so that we feel comfortable, so that we're not struggling to pay our bills, so that we can actually make money with the creative skills that we have, okay? So now with the tools I'm going to be giving you here, you're going to be able to build a business where you can make a decent living and have plenty of free time to do whatever you want. Or if you really want, you can use the skills here and scale to build a really big business and really focus on the business side without really caring about the art side. So I'm here to teach you both. If you are a creative and you just want some extra money to be able to pay your bills, to be able to live comfortably, great, you'll learn that. If you want to build a massive multi-six-figure business, you can do that too with what you'll be learning through these courses. Okay, so I'm here to help you avoid the mistakes that I made along the way and provide you with the blueprint. So I made a ton of mistakes, and you're in this course because you don't want to make the same mistakes I did. You care about your time. You know that by investing in this course, investing in yourself, you're saving yourself from those mistakes. This can save months of your life, years even, because these mistakes, there's so many mistakes you can make in business, and I'm here to kind of break them down and make it easy for you to follow a blueprint. So this entire program, I do this because I wish I had something like this when I was starting. There wasn't anything like this out on the internet. For reference, Creative Biz Launch has been around since 2022. I mean, back then there wasn't really any courses like around what I'm teaching here. But I'll give you the entire blueprint, but you're going to have to execute on it. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to commit and give it your all. I need that from you. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult. And it's not going to be hard because it's going to be really complex or really hard to implement. The hard part is being consistent. You're going to have to do a lot of the same things every single day, day in, day out, without seeing much results for a while. But eventually you will see results, and then they'll compound, they'll snowball. You'll get more and more results down the road. But you have to put in the work. You have to show up every day and actually be consistent with what I'm teaching you here. This will cause you also to, I'll be breaking some limiting beliefs you may have around making money, around using your camera to make money from clients. A lot of people believe they can only charge a few hundred for projects, when the reality is you could charge multiple thousands with the skills you have today. You don't have to learn any new creative skills. With just a few tweaks to certain parts of your business, to your offer, what you sell, you'll be able to charge a lot more. And this will be both a skill where we'll learn how to create the offer, but also a mindset shift, learning that, hey, you're actually worth charging that much. It's okay to charge multiple thousands for just maybe a handful of photographs, right? So I'll be teaching you how to break these limiting beliefs here. What's going to also happen is your perception of reality may change. A lot of us go into trying to make money with our cameras thinking that it's going to be capped at maybe $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year, when in reality you can make so much more if you want. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not promising you that you will make this money, but it's possible if you're building a business like that, right? Okay, so again, here I'm going to ask you to really keep an open mind, because some of the things I'm teaching aren't really found anywhere else, and that requires having an open mind. You might see me saying certain results that kind of sound too good to be true, but I want you to have an open mind, and I want you to know that these are possible for you as well. Some things I'll be sharing here will be things you've never done before, and things you may have thought that aren't for you. But again, please have an open mind. Dedicate yourself to learning these things quickly, and most importantly, take action quickly. Just watching these videos, they're not going to do anything for you. You have to take action after watching these videos, after going through this course, or else nothing's going to work. So take action quickly. Don't spend months dwelling on whether you should start this business. Start today. Start taking action quickly, and do not quit. I'll leave you with this. You cannot lose if you do not quit. Business is a hard game. Not everyone builds a successful business, but those that do, they have one thing in common. They didn't quit. So for you, you cannot lose if you do not quit. With that, I will see you in the next lesson. The 4-step blueprint of any business. So all businesses are going to follow a very simple 4-step blueprint. Every creative business does follow this, and I'll break it down right now. So the steps to build a business are very simple, and you maybe know these already. These may seem very obvious, but these 4 steps, this is what the entire method is. The Creative Biz Launch method revolves around these steps, and we dive in really deep into each and every one of these to provide you with information on how to implement them. So step 1, have an offer that people want. Step 2, get that offer in front of people. Step 3, convert the interested people into customers. And step 4, fulfill on your promise. Almost every business follows the same 4 steps. Simplified further, this is going to be 4 things. 1, the offer. 2, leads. 3, sales. And 4, fulfillment. So you probably noticed that those 4 steps are the courses in the Creative Biz Launch program. So we're going to walk through what each of these means in just a minute here. But for now, know that most businesses follow a 4-step process like this: the offer, leads, sales, and fulfillment. Cool? Okay, so yeah, again, if we pick any business in the world, it's going to follow these 4 steps most likely. And same is true for creatives. So many beginner creatives here, and a lot of professionals who are running businesses, are going to skip steps 2 and 3. So just to kind of explain what these steps are. So step 1 is your offer. That's kind of what you're selling. So if you're a photographer, you're selling photos. If you're a videographer, you're selling videos. If you're a designer, you're selling graphic design. You're selling logos, right? So your offer is what you're actually selling. You're selling photography, videography, services. That's your offer. Step 2 is leads. So leads are people that learn about your offer. These are people that these are people that don't know about your offer, but you want to get it in front of them pretty much. So there's loads of people in the world, right? Millions, billions of people. Our goal is to get our offer in front of those leads, okay? And once any leads express interest in our offer, well, then we start a sales process, right? So we want to get our offer in front of leads. Then we start a sales process to actually see, okay, can we help this lead with our service, with our offer? If so, we close a deal, and then we go into fulfillment, which is just production. So fulfilling on your promise. So if you're a photographer, you're going to fulfill on those 10 photos that you sold the lead on. Simple enough? Cool. So many beginners and professionals are going to skip steps 2 and 3. So these are people who are, well, this used to be me back in the day. They're people that are really good at what they do. They have a beautiful portfolio. They have an amazing website designed with really, really incredible photos and videos. And they really love doing the work behind the camera. They love nothing more than just going on set, shooting videos, photographing in a studio, right? They love doing the work. So they have that beautiful portfolio, that offer, and they are really good at the fulfillment side, right? But they don't have steps 2 and 3. And they know that they're really good at what they do, and they love doing it, and they do it well, but no one's working with them because they're missing 2 critical steps. They're not getting their offer in front of people. People don't know that they exist. That's the thing. Like, leads don't know that this offer exists. So if no one knows about you, well, no one's going to work with you. So we have to solve that problem, and I'll teach you how to. Secondly, if people do know about you and they know about your service, they're not convinced that you're worth the money. You might have a $500 photo package for a couple of headshots, and people might be like, oh, that's not really worth it. Or you're selling $2,000 product photography photos, but brands aren't paying that price. So that's where the sales process comes in, okay? So if we can master these 4 steps, we'll never have to worry about money again. Now that may be an exaggeration, but you get the idea. If we can master these 4 steps, if we can get our offer in front of people, if we can have an offer that people want and get that in front of people and then convince them that it's worth it and then fulfill on that, and we actually master these 4 steps, well, we'll be able to build our businesses up to whatever we want. So let's dive into these 4 steps a bit more here. The offer. So your offer isn't just the photos or videos you're selling. It's also your portfolio. What do people see when they first visit your website? What do people see when they visit your Instagram page? We need a portfolio within a specific niche. So a product photographer doing food and beverage photography, a videographer doing short form videos for entrepreneurs in their area, right? So we need some sort of portfolio within a niche. Next, we need a website and Instagram. That portfolio has to live somewhere. We're going to have that portfolio on our website. We're going to have an Instagram page dedicated to our portfolio as well. On our website, we're not just going to have a portfolio with our name on it. We're going to have copy on our website. We're going to have a headline about who we help, how we help them, what results we can bring them. We're going to have copy, or just this is a fancy advertising word for text. We're going to have copy all through our website with the results we've had for previous clients, what our process is like, what our promise is, how we work with people, right? So we're going to have copy through our website, and then we're going to have an example package. So what is a possible package that we can sell people? Is it just 10 photos, or is it 10 photos, a stop motion, free licensing, props included, right? A package that we can sell clients so people can see what we actually offer. And then lastly, we need to have a way for them to express interest in us, so a contact form or a way for them to get in front of us, right? So once we have that offer, we need to get leads to that offer. We need eyeballs. If no one knows about us, no one's going to talk to us. We have to get that portfolio in front of people. A big mistake people do is they have an Instagram page, they have a website, and they just assume clients will come to them. But clients don't know about you. They're not just searching your name. They're not Googling you. And even if they are, you're not popping up. So there's 4 ways we can actually get more leads. And we'll walk through this in the leads course in depth. But real quick here, there's going to be warm outreach. So reaching out to people that you know. This is a typo here. There's going to be warm outreach. There's reaching out to people that you know. Let me do this. So there's going to be cold outreach. So cold outreach is reaching out to people that you don't know. There's going to be organic social, and there's going to be paid ads. So let me break these down. So warm outreach, reaching out to people that you know. Cold outreach, this is like cold emailing, cold DMing people on Instagram, cold DMing people on LinkedIn. Cold calling, these are examples of cold outreach. You're reaching out to these people and you're pitching yourself. Organic social, so this is posting videos on social media, posting photos on social media without boosting them. So you're just posting onto Instagram, posting onto LinkedIn, right? Posting reels, posting stories, posting carousel posts. These are examples of organic social. If your posts do well, more people find out about them. They go to your profile. They see that you offer some sort of package, right? So that example package, they see that you're actually a business, not just a random photographer just posting stuff. And they may reach out to you to work with you. And lastly, we have paid ads. So people see your stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, but these are ads. They're not just organic posts. You're paying Instagram to put your stuff in front of people. And those are the 4 ways you can get leads. Okay, once we got leads, we're in the sales process. So step 4 is sales, or better known as converting them into paying clients. So in order to convert a lead, those eyeballs, into a paying client, we need to go through a sales process, because leads, getting people to find out about our stuff is great, but the goal of that is to just get people to say, hey, I'm interested. Once someone says, hey, I'm interested, then the sales process comes in. Then we try and sell them on our service. So we do that through a sales call. So we're going to book a sales call or discovery call. Then we're going to go through that call using a proven script. So that's what the sales course teaches you, how to actually use a script to be able to dig into the problems that people are facing, how to tie those problems into your solutions and pitch ideas, pitch projects that can solve that problem. So for example, if you're talking with a brand you ask them like, hey, how are your Instagram ads performing? they'll be like, oh, not so great. Our conversions have been going down. And then you can be like, oh yeah, we've noticed that with some other clients of ours. We've actually started doing these stop motions for Instagram ads that have been performing really well. And then you're tying your service to their problem. Or if you're doing product photography, you can say, hey, we're doing these really cool product photos that have been performing well for a brand that's in a similar space as you, right? So you're tying your service back to the problems that they're facing. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this using the sales scripts that we teach in the sales course. And then lastly is the proposal process. So how to, third is the proposal process. So how do we take that everything that was talked about on the sales call? How do we present our packages, our offer, our timeline, our contract in a proposal? How do we send that over to close that deal? So that's going to include everything from some ideas, some more copy about you, your portfolio, the actual packages and investment from there, the timeline and a contract. So I'll be teaching you how to do all of that stuff, and I'll give you templates in that sales course on that. And the last part of the conversion process, the sales process, is following up until you get a yes or a no. Now, once they say, yes, let's work together, you're going to onboard them, you're going to collect that deposit, you're going to have a prep call, and then you're going to produce whatever it is you promised. So here, it's really important to onboard them and have that prep call, because that's going to lead to better retainer client. If the fulfillment process I teach you guys is going to be really great for landing retainer clients, because landing a client is hard enough already. If we can turn one project into a multi-month contract, that's going to be great, right? So that's the goal here. So we're going to produce the photos and videos, we're going to deliver them, and then the post-delivery pipeline. So this is kind of where the retainers, the case studies, the testimonials, and the referral system come in. So at a glance, this is what the 4-step blueprint looks like. And this is true for like any business out there. So I'm drinking an energy drink right now. So let's break this down for this energy drink company. Offer. It's very simple. They sell energy drinks. They're great. Leads. So leads, they have, I think Ghost has a really good social presence. I'm guessing they're running paid ads. So they're doing organic social and paid ads to get eyeballs on their product. Conversions. So they don't do a sales call because this is like a low budget consumer product, but on their website, there's a way to actually purchase a product. Their website is optimized for conversions, right? They're going to run ads to you, retargeting you if you express interest in them. So they don't have a sales call process, but the sales process still exists in a different way. And then fulfillment, so delivering the product to me and making sure I enjoy it. They're probably going to email me like after I buy their energy drink, they're probably going to email me asking me to leave a review or provide customer feedback. So that's how this applies to this. But if you're working with like any other service provider, whether it's like a lawyer or whatever, they may follow like a very similar process. Because if you're working with a lawyer, they're going to have an offer. Leads, well, you see lots of lawyer ads on probably Instagram, even billboards. So they're doing organic social paid ads. They probably are doing cold outreach too. And then conversion, so they'll set up a consultation meeting with you. On that consultation meeting, they'll like outline like what services they provide, and then maybe give you like a rate that they charge, right? And then fulfilling their actual services. So you can apply this to like almost any business model to like a certain extent, but they all follow the offer, the leads, the sales, and fulfill framework. Cool. So there's a lot inside of all this that we have to master, and that's what these courses are going to provide you. We're talking through all this, so you don't have to figure this out yourself. I will provide you everything here for your photo and video business. So it sounds simple, right? It's a 4-step process, right? And it seems like if everyone knew this, everyone would be winning, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Like people just don't know about this, and if they do, they don't do the work. Okay, this stuff is not like hard to do. The good news is like these aren't complex steps. Like once you learn them, yes, like there's always room for improvement, but following the steps isn't the hard part. The hard part is doing it consistently for months without seeing results, but still maintaining the same intensity, because it does take a while to start seeing results. But if you're showing up consistently every day, you'll see results quickly. Okay, you'll see those results and you'll move forward. You'll see results and you'll still keep the same intensity. Or maybe you won't see results, but you'll still maintain the same intensity. You have to do the work regardless of if the results come or not. If they're coming, great, keep doing the work. If they're not coming, great, or keep doing the work, okay? The point here is to do the work. Now, business is a game of who can last the longest. People may try this, they try it themselves. they don't know how to set up their cold emails properly. They send 100 cold emails, they don't get responses, and they quit. And that's because all the cold emails went to spam because they didn't set them up properly. Or they have sales calls, and on the sales call, they just talk about themselves the entire time without asking about the client. You have to follow a system. You have to do the stuff right to get the results. And I'm here to teach you the right way to do this. Again, business is a game about who can last the longest. And if you recite this line to yourself, you'll last. I cannot lose if I do not quit. Cool. So lastly here, delayed gratification. I keep saying that results take a while to build up. And once they build up, it snowballs and it becomes bigger and bigger. We have to understand delayed gratification. So the longer that we can see, the longer that we can wait to see the result of our actions, the more likely it is that we can win. We live in a world where we get instant dopamine. We go on our phone, we scroll, we feel good, we laugh at a funny video, right? We get instant gratification. But in order to win at business, we have to delay that gratification. It's just like working out. If you want to get faster at running, if you want to be able to run a marathon, you're going to start slow, but over months, you'll start to see progression. You're not going to see progression the day after you work out. It's going to happen like weeks and months after that workout, and you have to do it consistently. So for example, I talk about video games here. So video games are great because you do an action, you get experience for that action, and you level up. So that's instant gratification. We don't have that in real life. We can do an action and we're not going to see that experience until maybe weeks or months after that. But what we have to do is focus on consistency, right? So with like business, if we do outreach for a month, we might land 0 clients, and that's okay. That's normal. Don't worry about that. The important thing is following the system, doing the work. If you do outreach for 2 to 3 months, okay, at that point, you're going to start landing paid gigs. Now, if you do it for a year, you're going to be landing these consistently. You'll have built a business that you can go full time into, or even bigger. You're going to be earning more than you're currently making. And that is fantastic. So for business, there is going to be a delayed gratification. And I want you to understand that this is normal. It's normal to have it's normal that's going to take a while. I'm telling you this because it took me a while to start getting results for my own business. But the good news is, the clients I've worked with through my program, they've gotten results way faster than I was able to. And that's because I have a blueprint for them. They don't have to go through the mistakes that I've made. And this is what I'm sharing with you through these courses, through my programs. So I'm really excited for you to be able to actually use these and get the results. So the work that you do today, know that the results don't come tomorrow. They might come months down the road. And months down the road, when you're excited that you landed that 10K client, well, remember the work you did 3 months ago when you had no clients, when you had no revenue. That is what caused you to land that big deal. It's not the work you did before that, the day before. It's not an overnight success. It's the work you did leading up to it. We've all seen the overnight success stories. And every single one of them, behind that overnight success is years and years of work of no one knowing who they were, of them eating dirt, not being able to pay rent, right? They're going through the tough times. But behind every overnight success story is the years and years of that work. And there's no such thing as an overnight success. I want you to know that. Like for me, with my business, it took me like 10 months to land my first like real paying client. For my YouTube channel, it took me, I think it was 11 months to hit 1,000 subscribers and get monetized. That is a long time to be doing work consistently without any results. So the results will come. Just do the work consistently. Have faith. I'll see you in the next video. The Creative Biz Launch system. This is why you're here. This is the system that I've used to grow Pieta Productions. It's a system that I've used and developed over the years to be able to scale my company, to grow quickly, to bring in a lot of revenue. And I've been teaching the same system to hundreds of creatives over the past 2 years inside of my Creative Biz Launch program. Now I'm bringing it to you. So this is the simplest way to build any business, and really specifically a creative business. So it's going to have 3 steps. 1 is going to be to talk to leads. 2 is going to be to pitch a service to those leads. And 3 is to underpromise, overdeliver. Now let's break down each of these steps because there's a lot of nuance and a lot of steps inside of each of these. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So I'm going to give you the exact blueprint throughout these courses on how to actually build out the system so you can go to 20K a month. Now, it doesn't matter if you're at zero right now. It doesn't matter if you're at $10,000 a month. This system will work for you if you put in the work. So I'm going to dive into each step here, but know that there's going to be some stuff that may seem confusing at the start. You might not understand something at the start. Just stick with it because everything will be explained throughout the courses. So I just want to give you this quick overview here so you know what to expect and to get you excited about what's possible in your business. If you have a creative service that you want to start selling to people, you can. And I'm here to enable that. I want you to be able to do your creative thing for other people, for clients, make money from it, and be able to live your dream life behind the camera, right? So that's what I'm here to help you with. Let's dig into each of these steps. So step one is going to be to talk to leads. Now, a lead is anyone that you think you can help with your service. This is a potential client. This is someone that may start working with you down the road. So these are people who may become potential clients, but they don't know who you are right now. So that's a problem. So we have to solve that problem by actually talking to leads. And how can we find potential clients? How can we find leads? Well, there are a couple ways. So one is to do outreach to qualified leads. So that's like sending emails, sending messages to potential leads. Secondly, it's through organic content that attracts leads, that makes leads come to us. Once we have that in place, we're going to have an offer that's actually attractive to those leads, because if we don't have any service or portfolio that we're providing, well, then no one's going to want to work with us. We need to have some sort of offer that we can sell these leads. And then lastly, we need credibility to build trust, because if we have this beautiful portfolio, if we have these great services on our website, but we have no credibility, no social proof, no testimonials, no case studies, well, there's going to be very little trust. So we need these 4 things in place, and we're going to start talking to leads. Secondly, we're going to pitch the leads a service. So once we actually get in contact with leads, once they say like, hey, your service looks good, let's talk more, we're going to book calls with them. We're going to ask questions on those calls that uncover problems. We're going to pitch ourselves as solutions to those problems, deal with objections, and then close deals. Now, I'm simplifying this right now, but hopefully this is making sense so far. And then the last step of this is to actually under-promise and over-deliver. So we're going to, once we land a client, once we get a deal signed, we're going to under-promise, over-deliver so that we can land retainer deals, we can build goodwill with the audience so they can give us referrals, all this stuff. So we're going to under-promise, over-deliver, and we do this by collecting a deposit and having an onboarding process. We're going to have a prep call with them. We're going to have the production phase. So that's when you do your thing. You're behind the camera, you take photos, videos, whatever. Then there's sometimes a revision process. And then there's post delivery. So reviews, case studies, retainers, referrals, all this good stuff. So whether you're making $100 a month right now or $15,000 a month, these 3 steps always happen. We talk to leads, right? We got to talk to leads. We got to pitch them a service. And then we under-promise and over-deliver, okay? So these steps always, always, always happen. Now, the Creative Biz Launch system has 5 phases here, and you can enter the system at any one of these 5 phases. So phase 1 is going to be 0 clients, 0 revenue. So you have no clients, you've made no money from your offer. Maybe you're just starting out in a new niche and you have no clients in that niche, right? So you're in phase 1. Next, we go to phase 2. So you're at $1,000 to $5,000 a month. Now, the system is designed to take you all the way from phase 1 to phase 5, but you can enter the system at any one of these phases. So phase 2, $1,000 to $5,000 a month. Great. Phase 3, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay, now we're getting serious. We're getting some serious income in our business. Phase 4, $10,000 to $20,000 a month. And then lastly, phase 5, $20K plus a month. Now, at each of these phases, the primary actions that you do will differ. So the things that you're doing on a daily, weekly basis will be different depending on what phase you're in. And this is going to be very important when we're actually, when we start reaching out to leads in the leads course. And I'll tell you exactly what these steps will be later on in the leads course when we're actually getting into reaching out to people, getting leads in our pipeline, closing deals. But for now, just know that these are the 5 stages. I also want to walk you guys through this little flow chart here that will make things a lot clearer, hopefully. So let me pull that up here. So this is the 0 to 20K roadmap. This is what the Creative Biz Launch system is designed to take you through. Now, if you're at 20K plus and you're in the system, You should be in my one-on-one coaching program, and probably not just this, because that's more so if you're more advanced, if you're at that 20K plus mark. So reach out for that one-on-one coaching. But for everyone else, let's walk through this. So we start with getting our business basics set up. So this is what this video is right here. This is the course, getting your business basics set up. Then we niche down, right? So we're going to figure out what our niche is going to be, and then we're going to create an offer in that niche. So these are the three things we have to do before we can actually enter the system. So right now, this is the business basics course. The next course you're taking will be the offers course, where we teach you how to niche down and then how to create an offer in that niche. So we want to have an irresistible offer that we can charge a lot of money for, and start getting that in front of clients. So once we have those three things in place, we're going to go through these phases. So phase one, we're at no clients, no revenue. Okay. To get our first clients, we're going to focus on outreach. We're going to be reaching out to people, warm audiences that we know, and we're going to get our first few clients. Now, these first few clients that we're working with will be free clients. We'll be working with them in exchange for testimonials, in exchange for case studies, in exchange for client work on our website. And here, yes, we're working for free, but we're getting something out of it. We're getting reviews, we're getting goodwill, we're getting social proof of our service. We're also learning where there's holes in our service, what we could improve, so that when we're working with paid clients, the customer experience is going to be really, really good right off of the start there. Okay, once we have a few free clients in our portfolio and we got those testimonials, we're going to start doing some cold outreach, and we're going to be reaching out to people that we don't know. So cold email, we'll be walking through the entire cold email system in the program. And now we have some testimonials on our website. We have credibility, so we can use that in our cold emails. And we're going to do that to get paid clients. And we're going to continue with outreach until we're at that $1,000 to $5,000 a month mark. Okay. So we're doing cold outreach until we get to $1,000 to $5,000 a month. Now, once we're past this point and we want to get to the $5,000 to $10,000 a month mark, the activities that we do are going to change a bit. So you can see what primary actions we're taking here. So the biggest one is still outreach. So we're still going to be reaching out to people to generate more leads into our pipeline. So we're going to continue doing outreach, but now we actually have repeat clients that are coming to us. So we've done some really good work for our clients. We've had great customer experience. We got great results for them. So some of the clients that we got here in the $1,000 to $5,000 a month phase, well, now they're becoming repeat clients. They've signed on for retainers. So this adds to our bottom line. This adds to our monthly revenue here, which is exactly what we want, right? So the reason why the system we do number 3, which is under promise and over deliver, is so that we can get those retainer clients. We actually want to under promise, over deliver, so that people stick around for longer, so they continue working with us. So we've got repeat clients here, and we can also begin posting content. So we can start posting more consistently to our social media pages, maybe like once or twice a week here. We're posting content, we're posting portfolio pieces, we're posting to our social pages, building up our brand in the background, and leads will actually slowly start to trickle in from there. Now, this will get us to the $5,000 to $10,000 a month mark. Okay, so once we're at $5,000 to $10,000, we're making some decent money. This is great. At this point, the primary actions will change a bit. So here we've actually got some more primary actions here. So we've got outreach, we've got content, we've got repeat clients, and we've got referrals now. So you can see these are pretty much equally distributed. So we're going to actually scale back on the amount of outreach that we're doing, and we're going to put more time into the content that we're producing. Okay, we're going to put more time into social media content, building brand, because now we're making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So we have resources to even hire contractors to help us with stuff. So we can hire people on to help us create content, to help us edit photos. We can hire a virtual assistant on to help us with certain things, right? For a low price each month. So we unlock a little bit of capital to help us with these things. So our primary actions are going to be some outreach, posting content consistently, and now we're going to have lots of repeat clients, because if we follow the system well, we should have repeat clients coming in, retainer deals, all this good stuff in the door, as well as referrals coming in. So referrals are coming in now from our past clients. We're getting referrals, which is really, really good. That's exactly where we want to be. Now, I'm walking through a lot here, but this is just a high level overview of the system. Now, each one of these steps we break down very, very in-depth throughout the program. There's very in-depth lessons on outreach, content, repeat clients, referrals, all this stuff. So don't worry about doing this yourself. We will cover all of this here. This is just an overview of what you're getting in this program, of what the Creative Biz Launch method is. Now, we're going to be doing this until we get to that 10 to 20K a month mark. So when we're at 10 to 20K a month, we have two options here. Okay, so we can actually kind of coast at the 10 to 20K a month mark and just maintain that level by just following our preferred method here and posting content. So our preferred method, so we're gonna walk through the different ways to find leads, which will be outreach, posting social media content, paid ads, right? So we can choose our preferred method here and just do a little bit of that to kind of maintain while consistently still posting content. And if we do this right, we're going to have referrals, we're going to have repeat business, we're going to have leads coming in, and we'll be able to stay at that 10 to 20K a month mark because all the effort we put in throughout the years has paid off. We're at this level, and this is a really comfortable level. Like 10 to 20K a month, that's $120,000 to $240,000 a year. That's a lot of money. And to be able to just kind of stay at that level because of the work we've done in the past is pretty insane, right? And this is definitely possible, but it does take a long time to get to this point, and it takes a lot of hard work. But know that it's a very possible to get to here. I have clients of mine, coaching clients, people who have taken this program who are at this level and are able to kind of maintain this level because of what we've taught in this program. So this can be you. Now, for everyone else that's hungrier, who wants to scale past the 20K a month mark, well, that's also possible. So here we actually can start hiring on a team. Okay, so here we can onboard a virtual assistant, a photo editor, someone to help with content, to script stuff for us, right? So we can start building our team out here and get extra help. And now there's all these methods that we can actually use to keep growing, to keep getting more and more leads. So we can continue with outreach, we can continue with content, we're going to be getting those repeat clients, we're going to be getting referrals, but we can also start putting money towards paid advertising and really doubling down on this method. So that is the Creative Biz Launch system. This is the 0 to 20K roadmap. And this is what you're here for, right? You're here to grow your business, and this is what's going to happen if you follow the lessons, if you do the work, if you show up daily, if you do the minimums. This will be your reality. So strap in. Really excited to walk you through each and every step here over these next few courses. Can't wait to see what you do with the system. Okay, let's get into the actual actionable things you can start doing today. Finding your niche. This is going to be a very important lesson, one of the most important lessons in the Business Basics course, because riches are in the niches. The more you niche down, the more money you can make. The more you niche down, the more likely it is you'll land clients. The more you niche down, the better, the easier it will be to build a business. So why do we want to niche down? We will increase our expertise and specialization. And this will be what people see when they see our service. If you saw a photographer that does real estate, that does lifestyle, that does product, landscape photography, all these things in their portfolio, they're kind of scattered and you're not really sure what service they provide. So we want to niche down so that we can become an expert in a category. We can solve a specific problem for clients in a certain category. Someone that does all sorts of photography won't understand what a certain type of client experiences. And even if they do, even if that photographer understands what all these clients do, the clients don't think that they will understand them. And that's what it really comes down to. The perception of how the clients will feel when they talk to that photographer. Because if someone's doing all sorts of different things, well, then the lead, the client isn't going to feel like they'll be understood here. If you're niche down, clients are way more likely to pay a premium for you because you're an expert in a very specific field. You're really good at doing product photography for food and beverage, okay? Or you're really good at doing outdoor brand like landscape photography, right? And because of this, clients are more likely to trust you and they're more likely to work with you. So let's walk through an example here. We have two photographers. Photographer A, they can photograph anything pretty well. They're flexible. They're a generalist. They might need outside guidance from the client because, yes, they do everything, but if it's like a specific situation, they might have to talk and get extra help from the client. They're going to charge lower rates because of this, and they're not perceived as an expert, okay? again, this is what people perceive you as. It doesn't matter how you see yourself, it's how the clients, how leads perceive you. Next, we have a product photographer for wellness brands. So this is more niche down. They're doing both product photography, so that's niche down, but also targeting wellness brands. So they understand the unique problems that wellness brands face. This is something that photographer A doesn't. They can speak to the solutions that the wellness brand wants. So when they're talking to the brand, they can clearly illustrate like, hey, we've done this for other wellness brands in the past. We want to do this for you so that you can increase your sales, boost your brand awareness, whatever, right? And they're very experienced with this specific style of photography, which is important for the client's perception of you. And they perceive you as an expert here. And because of this, you're going to get paid higher rates because you're an expert, because you can talk in terms of what the client wants, and you'll deliver better results at the end of the day. Okay, so in the real world, this might be more relevant to you. So let's say you have some chronic knee pain, and who would you go to solve this? Would you go to like your general doctor, or would you want to go to a more specialized doctor? So here, let's walk through this example. You've got some chronic knee pain and you're a runner. Okay, how can we fix this? Okay, if you go to a general practitioner, well, they treat patients of all ages for a wide variety of conditions. They do everything. They will do common colds, they'll do chronic disease management, injuries, everything. And general practitioners, they earn a salary reflective of that. They're going to earn like $200K a year, let's just say $180,000 a year here. And that's an okay salary for a doctor. It's nothing crazy, right? They're going to see a lot of patients each and every day with a lot of different conditions. And these are like quick appointments, like 15 to 30-minute appointments. Like you've been to the doctor, you know how this goes. And if there is a situation where they can't solve something, they'll refer you to a specialist. Okay? So Dr. B here. This is a sports medicine physician specializing in knee injuries for athletes. They are niche down. So they are focused on treating athletes with knee injuries and pain. That's what they do. And they've become an expert around that. They know everything about the knee. They know what happens. They've dealt with hundreds of people that had the same issues you have, so they know how to solve it. And because of this, they earn a higher salary. They're earning $300K plus a year because they're an expert, because they can solve this specific problem here. And here, they actually spend more time with each patient. So since they're handling more complex issues, they're spending more time with each and every patient here because they're an expert. And this person, they're actually sought after by people with this pain, with athletes with various backgrounds, because they know this person can help them. And this is what happens with finding your niche as well. By niching down, this is what you turn into. You get to command a higher salary. You are the expert at this. This is you. And this is only possible by niching down. So hopefully I've illustrated why it's important to niche down in this like real world example here. So let's actually niche down. Cool. So first off, a niche helps you eliminate competition. So let's niche down a few levels here. So we start as a photographer. Cool. We niche down further. Product photographer. Great. One more layer. Food and beverage product photographer. Okay, so we've gone down 3 layers here. Okay, lastly, food and beverage product photographer with a focus on breweries. So each level that we niche down here, we're actually eliminating a layer of competition because we become an expert every time we niche down. We increase our perceived perception of us being an expert every time we niche down, because if we're a food and beverage product photographer focusing on breweries, well, breweries are going to perceive us as an expert at that thing. We only work with breweries. We know all the shots that are going to be incredible. We know how to showcase their beer that looks a beautiful way. We know how to take photos of their brewery, right? We know how to do all these things for a brewery. And we did that by niching down. Now, if we were just a food and beverage product photographer, yes, we're still probably really good at taking photos of beer and at breweries, but there's less trust than being niched down further like this. So the thing here is, like, if you're just starting out, the further you niche, the more you niche down, the more of an expert you'll be able to paint yourself as without even having to have the experience. Solely by the fact that you're niching down, people perceive you as more of an expert here. Okay, so how do we find a niche? The goal is to find a niche that makes us money and that we enjoy. There's a lot of niches out there that don't make any money, and there's a lot of niches out there that we probably wouldn't enjoy doing. So the goal here is to combine the two, find a niche that is both profitable and enjoyable for us. So the guiding principle is going to be to sell to a niche with a pain point. We want to sell to a niche that has some sort of pain point. It's easier to sell water to a thirsty crowd than to one that's super hydrated, right? So if you're at a park on a hot day with a cooler, you're probably going to sell more water than if you're selling it on a cool day next to a water fountain. This is what we want to be doing. We want to be selling water on a hot day in the park, not next to a water fountain. The more pain someone experiences, the more likely it is that they'll want our service here. Okay, the more pain someone's going through, the more likely it is they'll want our service, and the more likely it is that they'll pay more for our service. So there's going to be 3 main pain points that we can cover here, and I'll walk through these in just a second here. Bear with me because this may sound kind of abstract, but I'm going to tie it back to the creative industry and how you can apply it in your video or photo business, right? Cool. So the big 3, there's going to be 3 big pain points for people. They're in wealth, health, and relationships. So the bigger the pain point, the more people are willing to pay to solve for that pain point. In terms of wealth, it's painful being poor. In terms of health, it's painful being unhealthy. In terms of relationships, it's painful being alone. So yes, you can be poor, unhealthy, and alone and still be happy, but that's the exception, not the rule, okay? So I didn't make this up. Like, I'm not trying to put this on you. This is just what reality is. So it's important to embrace reality for what it is, okay? So health. So physical pain. Your service can help people get healthier. So for example, lose weight with Ozempic. That solves a pain point for people. Personal training that will help you look jacked. You're solving a pain point there. Healthy meals delivered to your door. These are all services you've probably heard of, and they solve a pain point. And they've been around for a while, other than Ozempic, because people keep experiencing this pain. People want to look muscular. People want healthy meals delivered to their door because it's going to be easy for them to eat healthy. People want to lose weight with very low resistance. That's what Ozempic's for, right? Now, I'm not supporting any of these. I'm just illustrating examples here. Wealth. So you can be in financial pain, okay? So financial pain, right? If you're solving for that pain point, your service is going to help people make money. People don't want to be broke. It's painful being broke. So your service can help them become wealthy. So for example, learn how to make money with your camera. Someone who's taking my courses, well, they're probably experiencing a pain point that they're not able to make an income from photo or video. So that's the benefit that my course solves, right? For product photographers, my photos will increase your website conversion. So we're helping a brand get more wealthy. It's painful that they're not hitting whatever financial goals they have. So our photos can come in and help them increase their revenue. Our videos will grow your social media and get you sales. So again, if you're a videographer, you can help build up a brand's social media, and that's going to result in sales. We're helping them get wealthier. So a lot of the niches that I'll be walking through are in the health niche. There's not much, or in the wealth niche, there's not many health niches that creatives go into. So wealth is going to be the main one that we're talking about here. But relationships. So this is emotional pain. Your service helps people form relationships. So for example, my photos will get you more dates on dating apps. Here, you might be a headshot photographer, a lifestyle photographer, and you've chosen your niche in the relationship space, and you're helping people get more dates on dating apps, right? Some people are lonely and they don't want to be lonely and they're feeling pain because of that. Your service can help alleviate that pain. Okay, cool. Here for a clothing brand. You'll look incredible in our new fall clothing lineup. Okay, so clothing brands can be catering to this emotional pain people are feeling with their new fall lineup. Meet other single people at our bar. So bars, a lot of them cater towards this emotional pain, whether it's meeting people or selling alcohol for whatever reason. Bars cater to that. Okay. Lastly, so I'll capture your engagement / wedding day and you can cherish it forever. So this isn't so much emotional pain of being alone, but you're still catering to the relationship niche. People want to have those precious memories. They want to be able to cherish them. You're in that relationship niche, helping the couple remember their special day. Okay, so these are the 3 main niches. So let's tie it back to creative industries. First, before we tie it back, we still have a few more things we have to cover. So people don't want to be in pain and they want to get out of it. So we've covered part 1 of finding a niche. So there are 4 criteria of any niche. Number 1 is the pain point. So that's the first thing that we covered. So we covered health, wealth, and relationships. There are people inside of these categories that are experiencing some sort of pain. Next, the next thing that we have to target is that we have to cover is that niche easy to target? The third thing, does the niche have spending power? And 4, is it a growing market? So let's dive into these. So number 1, we already covered. So are they in pain? So physical, emotional, financial. If they are, that's good for selling a service. Okay. Number 2, is the niche easy to target? So if someone's in pain and we want to be working with those types of people, it should be easy to identify your target market. So if we can easily identify our target market, those leads that we talked about earlier, those eyeballs, if we can easily identify them and target them, it's going to make our marketing way more efficient. So for example, if we're searching for leads because we want to cold email them, well, if we can have criteria that we can filter by, so for example, marketing directors at companies of 10 to 50 people in the food and beverage space, well, we can filter by that criteria and then find a list of thousands of people that meet those criteria and then email those thousands of people. And that's what I'll be showing you in the leads course. Or if you're targeting a specific demographic here, you can run ads to that. So if you're doing dating photography photos, you could target single men 30 to 40 years old in New York City, and you can run ads to that specific demographic. So it's easy to target those people. And if you can target people easier, that allows for more personalized messages and more effective messaging. So you want it to be easy to target whoever's in your niche, so you can actually get your service in front of them. Okay, next, spending power. So we want the target audience to have the financial means to actually pay us. If they're in pain, but they don't have any money to pay us, well, it's going to be hard for us to sell our service to them. So for example, if we're a headshot photographer, do you think a college kid can pay us more or a corporate professional? Well, corporate professionals are going to have income, right? College kids don't have much income. They don't have expendable income. Corporate professionals are more likely to have that income, so it makes more sense for us to want to work with corporate professionals. Now college kids may still need your service, but I'm here telling you how to build a business that's profitable and doesn't cause you pain, that you can actually sell your services for a high ticket, and corporate professionals will be more likely to do that for you. If you're a product photographer or a local videographer, what's going to pay more? A small coffee shop or an online direct-to-consumer cold brew brand? So both in the coffee niche, both kind of like selling a very similar thing, but the small coffee shop, well, they're going to be making a lot less revenue in their business compared to an online direct-to-consumer brand that has lower margins and maybe making a lot more money. So targeting that online cold brew brand is probably going to be a lot better in terms of spending power and selling your services for them. Now the thing with this is like, you can offer the same exact thing to both of these, and the small coffee shop will be willing to pay you like $10 a photo, and the direct-to-consumer brand may be paying you $200 a photo, and that's for the same thing, right? Now, local mom and pop versus a local chain. So again, if we have a local mom and pop sandwich shop on the corner versus like a Subway, or not Subway, like a regional chain, a small local chain, the local chain is going to have more spending power than that local mom and pop shop. Okay. So if you're working with people with spending power, you'll get paid what you're actually worth and what you want to get paid. Now, I'm not saying you can't work with the smaller companies. You can definitely work with them, but that's not going to really keep your business growing quickly. We want to work with those people with spending power, and then if we want to like give back to the community, then sure, we can work with those smaller businesses too to help them in a more meaningful way. But to first like build up our own business foundation, our own security, we should target those people with spending power first. We get paid what we're worth. Okay, lastly, a growing market. So we want to be targeting, well, ideally we're targeting a niche that's within a growing market and not a shrinking market, right? So a growing market tends to have a lot more spending power than a shrinking market. This helps us with long-term security. So if there's an industry that's growing, we can grow alongside with it. So in 2024, e-commerce is growing, brick and mortar is shrinking. Electric cars are growing, gas cars are shrinking. E-learning is growing, traditional education is shrinking. So these are just a few examples of markets that are growing and not growing. So ideally, you pick something that checks off all 4 boxes. Now, if you're able to check off all 4 of these, if you're able to check off the pain point, the easy to target, the spending power, and the growing market, then you have an incredible niche. That is really powerful. It's going to be way easier for you to sell your service for high rates inside of that niche. If you check 3 out of 4 of these boxes, that's good too. 2 out of 4, not bad. But the more you can check, the easier it will be for you. So you want to do this work early on in terms of finding your niche so that you can check as many of these boxes as possible so that it's easier for you to grow a business. Cool? We don't want to make this too hard for us. Now, for myself, when I was picking my niche, I didn't know any of this. People just told me to niche down. I didn't understand why, but these were people that were smarter than me. They've done this themselves. And I was like, okay, I'll just listen to what you're saying. I'll niche down. I knew that product photography would be profitable because I knew that I could target brands and my work would make those brands money. So I knew that in my head, but I didn't really understand like the how behind that. But my niche, it kind of just happened to be good. I kind of got lucky when I chose it. I didn't know this foundation. If I had this, I would have probably chosen a different niche that was a lot more profitable, but I'm still happy with food and beverage product photography. I'm not saying food and beverage product photography isn't profitable. It's a great niche to choose. Like, you can do this too. But within that, there are certain spaces and avenues that you can go down to niche further down that you can make more profitable. So for me, it was hard to really set myself up in the space when I started as a product photographer. So I niched down further. I worked for free. I built up credibility, and I offered a really fantastic customer experience, and that helped me early on. So here was my kind of progression. I started as a photographer. I was doing everything. I was doing landscapes. So I was doing landscapes, all this stuff, lifestyle photography, portrait work, cityscape stuff, some product stuff, working with local, doing free work for like local coffee shops, stuff like that. But I didn't really know what I wanted to niche down into. But product photography seemed good, so I started with product photography. And then I chose food and beverage product photography because I was working in the food industry. If you don't know, like, building a business wasn't my first thing. I went to college for chemistry, then worked in regulatory in like the food industry for 4 years before starting my business. So I knew the food industry. So that's kind of why I chose food and beverage. And I was really technical. And I was really good with like the camera flashes, camera settings, all this like really technical stuff. So that led me to really focus on like action photos. So I had like these photos of like water splashing. Actually behind me, you can see some of my early work. So like this, you can't see that, but there's like an ice cube falling in there. That's like water splashing on this bottle. And that was kind of like what I niched down to. And once I was in that niche, I was able to land clients really consistently because I was targeting a very specific market. The market had a pain point. It was in wealth. They were easy to target because I was able to cold email them using this criteria. A lot of them had spending power because they were mostly online brands. And some were growing, some were shrinking. So I didn't really have this third part. I could have niched down further into like something like, I don't know, like at the time, I think CBD was big and like other things like that. So I could have niched down further into those things, but there's always market trends change over time. So I didn't check this, but ideally you can also check this growing market trend. Okay. Over time, I actually expanded my niche though. So I did start with these action product photos. But then I pulled back the layer and I only did food and beverage product photography because I already had a client base. I had like 10, 15 clients up on my website, client success story. So I had built up my trust, and that's when I could expand my niche. I was already perceived as an expert because I had a big portfolio. I had case studies, I had testimonials, so I had credibility. So I expanded my niche a bit further. And then I had people like coming to me after I've been working at this for like a year, people asking me if I could take photos of like their random other products. So I worked with like a jewelry company, still do. There were other brands that I worked with that weren't in that food and beverage niche, but I was only able to work with those brands after I've proved myself by niching down early on, landing those clients within that niche, expanding that niche, and then kind of like expanding it over time. Cool. So homework for today. This is really important. We're going to find our niche. So go through this exercise, pain point, right? Easy to target, purchasing power, growing market, and then we're going to niche down 3 to 4 levels. Okay. So we want to be able to find 3 to 4 levels down. So we'll start with wealth, for example, wealth, then product photography for food and beverage brands, product photography for food and beverage brands specializing in action. So we niche down a few levels here. So again, with relationships, headshots for singles, headshots for single men, headshots for single men who are corporate professionals. Relationships, weddings, wedding videos, intimate wedding videos for elopement. So this niches down a few levels here. So with this, your homework, find your niche. With this, it's going to help you so much, make way more money in your business. Riches are in the niches. And I'll see you in the next video. Building your portfolio. Okay, I'm excited for this video. These are going to be about a bit more actionable videos. The previous few were kind of long, kind of meaty. This is actionable stuff you can start doing right now. So once we have that niche, our goal is to build a portfolio inside that niche. So if you have no photos at all in the portfolio, our goal is to get 20 photos up or 4 to 9 video pieces for a portfolio, depending if we're a photographer or a videographer. If you already have a portfolio, great. But if you have a portfolio already, you have to eliminate everything that isn't in your niche. So if you're doing product photography, get rid of any shots of people, any landscapes, anything that isn't product photography. So portfolio 101, sticking to your niche. So we want to only include things within our niche. So again, if we're a product photographer, only include product photos, no headshots, no real estate, no branding videos, right? Only things in your portfolio. The portfolio, this is the first thing clients see. It demonstrates that you're actually niched down. This is how they know that you're niched down. So showing clients that you're capable of all these different styles and portfolios, this does not mean you're going to land more clients. And this is something that a lot of people don't get. This is something I struggled with for a while, but more versatility doesn't demonstrate that you're more of an expert. Clients will trust you less. So the goal here is to land clients, not to show off your versatility. So with this, quality is going to be way more important than quantity. So these should be your most important, these should be your best photos that you have. So we want those 20 high quality photos, the best of the best, right? Put the effort in now so that you can create the best portfolio possible. So this is like 20 quality photos or 4 to 9 like really good videos. Again, these are your best photos, and you want to make these unique from each other. Don't just take like 20 photos of like the same thing. Like don't take 20 photos of this from like different angles. Use 20 different things, okay? Or at least a bigger amount of variety here. Again, this should be your best work here. And you also want to demonstrate that you can do a variety of styles, but just maintain a cohesive body of work, maintain like a similar brand aesthetic. Now this is kind of hard to explain, but you're a creative, you know what I'm talking about. Like you want the portfolio to flow well together. If you need help with this, like you can go check out mine on pietaproductions.com, or any photographers that you look up to, they will probably have decent portfolios. Mine's a good example of a more niche down portfolio that it'll be good to replicate. If you're unsure if you should include something or not, chances are you shouldn't include it. Listen to your gut here, okay? Practical steps. So this will depend on your niche a bit, but if you're niching down into like the food and beverage photography space, I'm saying this example because this is where I come from. Know that whatever niche you choose, you'll learn the principles to build a business around that niche. So don't feel like you have to be a product photographer to benefit from this program. Like this program is designed for photographers, videographers, and designers working with businesses mainly. So if you fall into that, then you're going to benefit from this. So if you're doing product photography, you can go to a hip grocery store and buy products to shoot there. If you need headshots for your portfolio, go to a college campus and do free headshots. If you need photos of people or lifestyle photos, talk to friends, talk to family that you can photograph or film. Work for free to really build up this portfolio. We'll be talking more about working for free and how that leads to paid work in the leads course, because working for free is the fastest way to get paying clients. I love covering that topic because it's kind of controversial, but it's been my experience and my experience of my students. Anyways, so once we build up that portfolio, we're going to be uploading them to our website later on in the course. I could pull up mine here and I'll show you what I have. Okay, so here's my website. We'll be walking through website design in a couple lessons here. But down here, like, let's see, scroll down a bit. So here you see bits of my portfolio. So obviously, like, this is all product photos in the food and beverage space. We got water, we got this sauce with some garlic, we got this strawberry almond bar. So it's all like niched down in the food and beverage space. Now, if we go into my actual portfolio, again, you'll see it's all within the same space. So it's niched down. It's cohesive. It's a shows some versatility, but still largely niche down. So if you need help, go to pietaproductions.com/photo and you'll be able to see this. With that, short lesson, straight to the point, build up a quality, here I am. How did I do that? Build up a quality portfolio with 20 or so photos, 4 to 9 videos if you're a videographer, and post that on that website, which we'll be covering shortly. Business names. Okay, so it's time to pick a business name. The thing with names, with picking a business name, is they don't matter as much as you may think they do. Yes, they are important. Yes, it is the first impression that you make with clients, but it's not what clients care about. They care about getting a good service from you. They care about how you can help them. They care about the ROI of working with you, about the customer experience, about your timeliness, about the results you can get them. They don't really care if they're working with Pieta Productions or Pieta Pixel or Shutter Studios here. They care about the results I drive for them. Okay? So for picking names, like I recommend picking something that's short, memorable, related to whatever industry you're in, ideally, right? And that's all there is to really picking a name. You want something short, memorable. I actually have a tool here for you guys to use. But before we go into that, the thing with names is like people will spend months and months trying to think of the perfect name, when in reality, the perfect thing to do is to just start. Pick a name, start with that. You can always change it down the road, but just pick something and start taking action. So here, there's a tool that we can try. So if you want to use this business name generator, it's on Wix. So, you can use that same domain that I provided here. So what we're going to do here is pick our industry. So we could do photography, product. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so it's generating names for product photography. So Snap Pros, Focus Forte, some random names here. Like you can experiment with this as much as you want. And then industry. So here we can do food and beverage. Food and drink photography studio. Okay, let's see what comes up with that. So if we're messing around with this, let's say for keyword we actually want to use our last name, so we'll use my last name. Let's see what comes up for this. We'll see what this business name generator does. So savory lens, pixel palette. Yeah, so this can give you like some ideas to go off of. Use ChatGPT or some other AI to kind of help with this, or just do it yourself. So there's lots of resources to kind of help you think of a name here. That's just an example of what you can use. If you can't think of anything yourself, feel free to use those tools. Now, you can always change your name later. If you're already working as a photographer, you've got established business, and you already have a name that's working, great, perfect. No need to change it. If you're using your first and last name and your business is doing well, you're well established using your first and last name, don't change that. Now, if you don't have many clients, if you're not doing this full time, and you're not established with your first and last name, then I wouldn't suggest doing a first and last name. I would suggest doing something different. Personally, I started as Chris Pieta Photo. That's what I was doing business as when I first started off as a photographer. I was pitching cold emails as Chris Pieta Photo. But then I switched to Pieta Productions a year in, and the reasons I switched is because one, Pieta Productions just sounds a bit more professional. It seems that it's a bigger team. I could build the company out more under Pieta Productions as well. So that's kind of why I switched. I like the name better as well. So that was my reasoning. In order to switch though, there was some friction. So I had to file a DBA because I had an LLC under a different name. So I had to file a DBA to change that. I had to change my emails. I had to buy a new domain. I had to change the social stuff. So there is friction in changing later, but it's also possible. So pick something, start. You can always change it later if you hate it, but most likely you'll be able to stick with it for a while. Cool. So before you commit to a name, make sure that the domain is available. So we want to make sure that the website domain is available. So that tool I showed you earlier, I think it shows you if the domain's available or not, but you can also use this one. So domains.squarespace.com. There you can type in your domain and see if it's actually available. So if we click into that, we want to see if our domain's available. So if we're doing Pieta Studios, let's see if that's available. We'll hit enter. Pietastudios.com is a match, so I could buy that and run it in my own business. Perfect. So you want to do the same thing. You want to make sure that your domain is actually available, and ideally it's like a like this rather than a dash. This will be easier for people to remember, easier for them to type into the into the URL bar, and it's just going to be better for a long-term success. And with that, that's all I have on changing. I'm picking a name, so pick something that sounds good to you and run with it. Take action. Forming an LLC. Okay, let's walk through this. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. I am not a lawyer. Forming an LLC in the United States. Let's walk through what this looks like. So for anyone who hasn't registered their business yet, you're operating as a sole proprietor. You're not an LLC yet. You're a sole proprietor. So let's say someone sees you own a camera. They pay you $20 to take a headshot. You're operating as a sole proprietor by default there. They're paying you for your service, but you don't have any formal business structure. So here, you and your business are the same thing. There's no business entity. And because of this, there can be risks involved. So if your business were to get sued, you would get sued. It directly correlates to you because there's no business established. You're just a sole proprietor. So every action that you do, you're personally liable for. And this can be risky. You also can't open up any business bank accounts. You often can't have a payment processor. You can't get access to business credit card, business loans. So how do we solve for this? The LLC. So this is going to establish a formal legal entity for your business. There are a few different types of business structures out there. LLC is the most simple one that we should start with. So for example, 3 structures here. We have sole proprietorship, which we just covered. That's when you're operating without a formal business entity. There are corporations, and then there are limited liability companies. An LLC is short for a limited liability company. This is a type of business structure, and that's what we're going to establish today. So forming an LLC should be one of the first things that you do. If you know you want to make money from photography, from videography, from your services, it's time to form an LLC. So when you establish an LLC, you will get an EIN. This is going to be your employer identification number. This is essentially like a social security number just for your business. This allows you to hire employees, which may be relevant down the road, not very important right now, but more importantly, it gives you access to a business bank account. So you get to separate your personal finances and your business finances. You get access to business credit cards, which a lot of the times have really nice intro offers of 0% interest for the first year. You get access to loans. You get access to being able to use a payment processor as a business. So at the very least, getting a business bank account with your LLC is going to be important so you can track expenses, okay? An LLC separates you as the individual from your business. I'll say this again. So Chris Pieta, the individual, would be separate from my business, Pieta Productions, okay? Which gives me legal protection. So let's say I'm Chris Pieta, the person, the photographer, and then there's my business, Pieta Productions, let's say LLC, okay? So this legal business entity, Pieta Productions, if I'm operating as a business there and something happens, let's say I'm on a photo shoot and my light stand falls and it hits someone in the head, that could be a lawsuit waiting to happen, right? Someone got hurt under my, while working with me, that's bad. So they decide to sue me. That sucks. But they can't sue me. They sue my business. So they sue Pieta Productions, and they sue Pieta Productions for whatever it's worth, right? And they go after those assets. Meanwhile, me here, Chris Pieta, I'm not getting sued. I'm protected. So all of my own personal assets, my house, my car, all these things, these are protected because I'm operating as an LLC. Chris Pieta is separate from Pieta Productions. So what happened at Pieta Productions is separate from me. Now, if I were operating as a sole proprietor with no LLC, and that same thing happened, that light stand fell on that person, they got hurt, they sue me directly, and they could go after my personal assets, after my house, my home. Anything I own is fair game in that scenario. So it's important to establish an LLC for yourself. Also, this increases credibility with your customers, right? If you're operating as an LLC, you're a legit business here. You're going to be a lot more credible when landing clients. Okay, so how do we form an LLC for ourselves? First off, if we want to form an LLC, we have to pick a name for our LLC. Okay, so we already talked about naming. We are going to file articles of organization with our Secretary of State. Then we're going to choose a registered agent. Then we're going to create an LLC operating agreement. Then we're going to apply for an EIN. and we're going to have to be in compliance with tax requirements. And lastly, we'll pay the state's filing fee. So this is how you file it yourself. Now, personally, I didn't file an LLC myself. I paid a service to do it. It's really cheap to pay someone else to do this for you, and I'll explain why it's better to just pay someone than you do it yourself here. So I don't recommend you doing this yourself because it's going to distract you from your main business. It's going to distract you from trying to land clients, from trying to figure out all this compliance stuff, trying to figure out how to write an operating agreement, trying to figure out how to be a registered agent, how to write your articles of organization, right? This stuff, you might not even know what I'm talking about here, right? And what you can do is just pay a service to do this for you. There's a lot of room for error, and for the price that it costs, it's a no-brainer to use a service. It'll give you peace of mind. And as an entrepreneur, I'm making this video. This course is for creative entrepreneurs. As entrepreneurs, we need to begin valuing our time. We know what we're good at. We're good at being behind the camera, doing the photo work, getting clients. That's our focus. Doing all the LLC stuff, that shouldn't be our focus here. We're an expert at photo and video. That's our bread and butter. So let's focus on that. And when we need help with things like this, we can pay other people for this help. And it makes sense to pay other people because we're going to have business income coming in from our photo and video services. And we can make way more money doing that than the time it takes to actually do this LLC formation ourselves. So we're going to use a service. Now, there are a lot of different services out there for this kind of thing. I'll just name a few here. So there's Taylor Brands, there's Zen Business, there's Better Legal. There's a lot of different options here. My favorite one is Taylor Brands because it's simple, inexpensive, and they're also a trusted partner of Creative Biz Launch. I've negotiated a good deal for you guys. So you can either file for free with them or get 35% off one of their paid plans. Now with this, you're still going to have to pay a state fee. So no matter where you file your LLC, there's going to be a fee that you have to pay the state. Okay, so like I'm in Illinois, so I had to pay like Illinois, I think I paid them like $300. And then on top of that $300, the service will also have like a service fee. Now with Taylor Brands, the basic plan, it's a $0 service fee, so you would just pay the state fee. But for their other plans, you can get 35% off whatever their paid plans are. So using a service like Taylor Brands is useful because we can then have them file our articles of organization on our behalf. They can create an operating agreement on our behalf. They'll provide a registered agent on our behalf and also apply for an EIN on our behalf. So the action steps here are to use Taylor Brands, get approved by them, wait in the EIN to wait to get our EIN in the mail, and then once we get that, we're going to open up our business bank accounts, which I'll walk through in a next lesson here. So the nice thing about an EIN is we get to open business bank accounts, so under our LLC name, which means we get access to business credit cards and more business capital. So one thing that you can do is business credit cards often have a 0% APR for the first 12 months. So this gives 12 months of essentially an interest-free loan as long as you pay it back within that 12 months. So that's a good way to, that's how I used that to get some startup capital early on. Cool. Once we file for an LLC, we're going to also need to stay compliant. So if we use a service, every year they're going to remind us to file our annual report, and the service is going to do this for us. So we'll just go in, check a few boxes, hit submit, and that'll be good to go. If you're not using a service, it's up to you to file that report. And also look into your state requirements for staying compliant. So sometimes you might need an annual meeting. You might need an update operating agreement. So if you're using a service, they should be reminding you of these things. If you're not using a service, just be sure to figure that out yourself. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up your LLC in just a second here. But one last note on LLCs. So staying compliant, we have to be separating our business expenses from our personal expenses, and these shouldn't mix. So don't ever use your business card for personal expenses or vice versa, because that could breach your corporate veil, which pretty much means if you're mixing personal and business together, then if you were to get sued, there might be a situation where it appears that your business and you are one and the same thing, and then there wouldn't be any protections. Then you would essentially be like a sole proprietor. So don't mix business and personal, just keep them separate here. This is usually not a problem. I'm just mentioning it here just so you're aware. Okay, so below this video, there'll be a link to get that discount off of Taylor Brands. So if we click into what this looks like, You'll open up this window and let's just walk through setting up an LLC here. So with the discount from that referral link, you're getting a $0 option. So there are a few options here. You get Light, which does the LLC formation. You get Essential, which does LLC formation, legal compliance, expedited processing, or Elite, which includes all this plus the branding toolkit. My recommendation is to do this one just because you get legal compliance. So that's going to be the best option for you to give you peace of mind. So with that, let's just go through this. It's going to be very simple. So you pretty much just select your state. I'll do Illinois, click claim discount. And then you're going to just essentially follow these steps here. So I'll just do Pieta Studios. Let's see what we got here. See if this is available. Okay, so this business name is currently available in Illinois. So I'll go next. Then I'll tell them. So here's the process that it goes by. I'm going to tell them about the business, answering a few quick questions. Then they'll recommend some things for me to fill out. Then I will form the LLC and they will do it for me. Since we're doing this, the middle plan, it should only take a few days for it to actually file. So it's really fast. Then the EIN comes later down the road. So you're just going to follow these steps. I'm not going to establish a new LLC here for myself, but for this, we can just click about to launch. We'll just do as soon as possible. We're doing professional services. I'll do photo and video. Photography. Yeah, you could just click photography or videography, depends on what yours is. We'll click next. This, you can just do not sure. And here you'll just continue filling out this form. It's a quick and easy form. You don't need my help with this, nor do I need to establish an LLC myself. So follow the form. You'll be in good hands with this one. Again, if you don't want to use the service, you don't have to. Like, you can file this yourself. It does take a lot more steps, and I would recommend consulting with like a lawyer or something. Or you can just use Taylor Brands, and it's just going to be the best value for you. So that's LLC formation. I'll see you in the next one. Business bank accounts, not legal advice, not financial advice. This is not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. Business bank accounts. So business bank accounts exist to keep our personal finances separate from our business expenses and finances. I mentioned this in the previous video about LLC formation, but it's important to keep these two separate. We shouldn't be using our personal card for business expenses, and we shouldn't be using our business card for personal expenses, because if we do, it might pierce the corporate veil and limit the legal protection we have with our LLC, right? So just keep things separate. Business expenses are business. Personal or personal, okay? So when it comes to opening up business bank accounts, we established our LLC. Next, we're going to get our EIN in the mail from the IRS. Once we get that, we can then open up a business checking account. So go ahead, open up a business checking account. These should be free. There shouldn't be any monthly fees with this, or if there are, they're like, I think you just have to have a certain amount in your account for there not to be fees. But any major bank in the US is fine for this. Like, use whatever you feel comfortable with. You could use the same one that your personal ones are banked with. Doesn't really matter here. So just establish a business checking account with a reputable bank here, and also open up a business credit card. Most business credit cards will give you that 12 months of 0 APR. So I'm going to link below some bonus offers that you can use. I think those will give you some extra goodies that you can check out below this video. Personally, I prefer Chase or Amex. Both are good. Like, the cards have like 1.5 or 2% cash back, which is great. That means, like, if we're buying stuff with our business credit card with like a 2% cash back and we're paying off that bill, we're just getting free 2% every single month. So it makes sense to just use that card and pay it off. Or if you're using this APR thing, just pay it off before the 12 months. When you're opening those accounts, make sure that you use your EIN and open it as a single member LLC and not a sole proprietor. So when I opened my accounts, I had to go to the physical location. That's probably changed by now. So when you're filling out that form to open up those accounts, be sure to select single member LLC and use your EIN for those things. And then any income that you're getting from your business will then go into your business bank account, and any expenses will also come out of that bank account or that credit card. So any expenses for my business, like any coaching I do or any courses I buy, those go on my credit card and I pay that off. Okay, so business expenses are paid for with the business accounts. Very simple stuff, nothing too complex. Get those set up once you get that EIN. Payment processors. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. I'm not a lawyer. Let's make some money. So we've got our LLC established. We've got the EIN number. We've got our business bank accounts. Let's get some money in there, right? Okay, so we need a way to collect money from clients, right? We do a service. We want to get paid for it. Now, this is very obvious. We all know this, but let's just make sure it's set up the right way. So our business, we need revenue to survive, right? We need cash coming in. So we need to choose a payment processor to actually collect our income. So one option some people do is like they'll use Chase QuickPay or Zelle or something or Venmo. Don't recommend doing this. We need to get a proper payment processor set up. So I started off using QuickBooks as my payment processor. These days I use Stripe. Both work fine. It's going to be up to you which one you choose. Down below is a way to get QuickBooks set up if you want to use my discount code. That's going to be down below. Stripe is also great. Stripe is a nice choice because they don't have any like monthly fee. They just collect the standard credit card fee. But Stripe doesn't offer bookkeeping as far as I know. QuickBooks does. We'll get into bookkeeping later on in this course. But no matter what payment processor we choose, when someone pays with a credit card, we're going to be charged a like 2.9% payment processing fee. And this is standard. You're just going to have to eat this cost. This is essentially the internet tax doing cost on the internet. You're going to have to pay this. I always will accept credit cards from clients and I don't charge extra. It's going to be up to you if you want to charge extra or not, but I usually just, if I wanted to charge extra, I would just add that to my rates and not have an extra fee. Now for people who want to pay with like a check or something like that, I've had clients that paid with that before. So if you work with like really big brands, some brands may want to pay you like that. And I will allow that because if it's like a $10,000 deal that I'm getting a check in the mail for, well, then I won't have to pay that 3% fee, which would have been like $300 in fees. So yeah, with payment processors, get set up on Stripe or QuickBooks. Both work great. Set up with your EIN, your official LLC name, all that stuff. It's going to walk you through that process. And once you're set up, you can start sending invoices through the software and start collecting cash from clients. Invoicing. Okay, so once we have that payment processor set up, we can start sending invoices. This is great. We can start getting paid from clients. So to send an invoice, you really need two things. You need your client's name and you need an email address to send that invoice to. Personally, I keep my invoices super simple. We're going to talk more about what to include in the, we're going to talk more about packages and stuff like that in the offer section. But I just want to walk you through kind of how I set up my invoices here. So when you see the packages, it's okay if you don't know what that is. The offers course will walk through the packages and pricing around there. But for now, let's talk invoicing. So right after a client signs a contract, they're going to get invoiced for a 50% deposit due immediately upon signing. I keep this to, okay, so going back a little bit, the whole 50% deposit, all that, like how to negotiate those terms, that's in the sales course. So we'll be walking through that as well. Like once you start landing clients through sales, we'll cover this in depth in a future video. Here, I just want to quickly recap what invoicing looks like. So 50% deposit. Your first invoice is for that 50% deposit, and this is due immediately upon signing. I keep this a one-line item, and with this, it looks a little bit like this. So this is through Stripe, I believe. So I just have this one-line item, 50% deposit, gold package for 4 stop motions, 10 photos, 1,500. Really simple. Send this to a client. It's due on the same day they sign the proposal. Now, again, we're going to walk through proposal and all that in the sales course. So don't worry if you don't know what those are. Final invoice. So I do net 30 for final invoices. So 30 days after I deliver the final assets, the invoice is due. So I'll send that right when I deliver the assets. And again, it's very simple. I'll just include that same package there. So a gold package, 4 stop motions, 10 photos, 3,000. And then I'll subtract the 50% deposit from there. So minus 1,500. They owe me 1,500 here. So this was my gold package. It was $3,000. I got paid the first half here and the second half here. Now, if it's a more custom package or if they ask, I will break it out by the deliverables. Very rarely do clients ask for this, but if it's more custom instead of one of my packages that we will talk about in the offers course, this is a bit more custom here. So here for stop motions, 4 stop motions at 500 each, 2,000, 10 photos at $100 each, 1,000, and then the 50% deposit, we just subtract that there. again, you want to keep these invoices like super simple, nothing complicated. Like I don't waste my energy on this stuff. Just add the relevant details, send it to the client, and get paid. And if for some reason they need extra information, they'll ask you for it. But we've already negotiated this rate before they get the invoice. Like nothing here in the invoice is a surprise to them. This is all stuff that we'll learn in the offer section, like how to actually charge rates like this and even more. That's the offers course. So check that out if you need more help with that. But with that, we are done with the invoicing section. Business insurance. So get business insurance. This is a really small cost for what you get out of it. Business insurance, it protects you from lawsuits, it protects your gear, and it's really, really cheap. It's like $20 a month max, and it's one, like if you're a photographer or a videographer and you don't currently have insurance for your gear, you should have that. And business insurance it covers that too. So for example, if you get business insurance I use Full Frame for my business insurance. There's other options too. Full Frame's nice for creatives. But anyways, so business insurance, it'll cover your gear. So you can have insurance up to a certain, like let's say $20,000 of gear covered under your insurance. So if something happens to it, it'll get replaced without you having to buy another $5,000 camera setup, right? So that's a big part of the benefit of insurance. If we get sued for some reason, the insurance will cover us for liability. So I talked about a light falling over and hitting someone on the head in our business. Well, business insurance can protect us against those lawsuits. And then lastly, insurance. If some clients will ask you for insurance, if you're going to shoots, if you're going to locations, things like that, sometimes you'll get asked for insurance just so they know that you're protected if anything were to happen. So some clients will ask you for proof of insurance. As a product photo and video business, I haven't had this happen because most of my shoots are in studios, but I know plenty of people that get asked all the time. Like my buddies have they do drone videos and they get asked for insurance a lot of time from clients. Or if you're going to a lot of shoot locations, you may be asked for insurance from clients. So it's just like a good thing to have here. And just like any insurance, you probably will never have to use it, but it's good to have just in case, because if something does happen to your gear, something happens that you can't control, insurance will cover you here. All right, cool. Bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, or this is not financial advice. Let's walk through bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. So a lot of us don't like these words, complicated stuff. We don't really want to deal with this, but as business owners, we should know, at least at a high level, what these are and how to deal with these. So as a business, we're going to have revenue and we're going to have expenses, and we're going to have to pay taxes on the profit in our business. So let's walk through these three things because they're a little bit different. Bookkeeping first off. So bookkeeping, the definition is the process of recording daily financial transactions in a consistent and systematic manner. So we're pretty much categorizing the transactions in our business. So let's say we buy a new lens. Well, we're going to have to categorize that transaction. It was a gear purchase, right? If we're using software we're buying software, we're going to have to we're going to categorize that transaction. So that's going to go in the software category. If we're buying coaching or courses, that can go in the professional development category, right? So these are expenses that we then have to categorize in our business. Now, likewise, when we're getting income into our business, we're going to categorize that as well. So if we're getting client income, we can categorize that as service income, right? So we're logging all the transactions, both expenses and income in our business. That's bookkeeping. Cool. Accounting. So accounting here, this is the process of summarizing, analyzing, and reporting financial transactions. That's the official definition of this. So what we're doing is we did the bookkeeping. We're using the data from that to kind of prepare financial statements. So what does this actually mean? We have profit and loss statements. So let's say we categorize all our expenses for the month and we're spending $2,000 on software, on coaching, on whatever. And then we have income coming in. So let's say we have $5,000 coming in this month. So we have $5,000 in income, $2,000 in expenses. If we want a profit and loss statement, well, we subtract the two and we see our profit for that month was $3,000. So that's what accounting is. We're using those transactions to prepare financial statements. Now, taxes. So the definition of taxes, mandatory contributions paid to the governments by individuals and businesses. So here we're using the financial statements that we made from the accounting process, and we're going to calculate the taxes that we owe. Now, I'll get into the nitty gritty in a little bit here. But as a single member LLC, we need to pay quarterly taxes. Okay, so it's different than working a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5, when we get a paycheck, the taxes are automatically taken out from that, right? And then we might have to pay at the end of the year, right? But when we own our own business, there's no monthly paycheck that's really coming in. So we have to pay the taxes ourselves on a quarterly basis to the government. So for that, we are paying in 2024, these due dates were April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. So on a quarterly basis. So Q1 ended, March 31st. Taxes were due April 15th. Okay. So this goes on here. So these are the due dates for quarterly taxes. So just remember these. This is when those taxes are due. If you don't pay by that time, you're going to have to pay a small penalty. It's not too big, but try and do your due diligence with paying taxes. Cool. So in terms of doing the bookkeeping, the accounting, and the taxes. So if you're just starting out, so there's two options. So option one is to pay a service to do this. So there's local firms around your area. It could be online firms. What I use Collective for my taxes. It's $300 a month. I think it's going up now. It might be like $350 now. So it's not cheap, right? It's not cheap. And this only makes sense if you're already making money in your business. Like if you're already at I'd say like $8K a month at least, then it makes sense to use a service like this. And if you use this discount code, so there's a link below this video if you want to use this, you'll get 1 month for free with the with Collective by using the Creative Biz Launch code, because we're a partner of Collective. And again, this makes sense if you're already making a decent amount of money in your business. If you're just starting out, then I would recommend doing this yourself. So QuickBooks is the way to go. Like this is a great accounting software. Everyone who does it themselves is on QuickBooks for the most part. There's a link below this video to get 3 months free of QuickBooks. So bookkeeping 101. Once you establish QuickBooks here, this is for those that don't want to do it, that don't want to pay a service. You're going to set up a bookkeeping system inside of QuickBooks. You're going to connect all your business accounts, your business credit cards, any payment processors, right? If you're using QuickBooks as the payment processor, that's automatically categorized there. And then every transaction that happens in your business with everything that from expenses to income, if everything's set up properly, it's going to be automatically imported there. So what I would do is like once a week, I would go in and just like categorize all the expenses into like the appropriate categories. QuickBooks makes this easy to do. So you just go in there. You want to keep all of your receipts and invoices as well. So keep those emails. If you have physical receipts, keep those as well. You need to keep these physical transactions present. And lastly, again, keep those business finances and personal finances separate. Said this before, just keep them separate, okay? So that's bookkeeping 101. Now, in terms of accounting, if you're using QuickBooks, you can generate financial statements quickly from there. So as long as your bookkeeping is up to date, you can then quickly make a profit and loss statement. So that's why I talked about earlier, that shows the revenue expenses over a period of time. So you can check like your monthly profit and loss, your yearly, quarterly, whatever you want here. Another great tool is a balance sheet. So this shows your business liabilities, your assets, and your equity. So everything that your business owns versus the things that you owe money on here. And then lastly, a cash flow statement. So this kind of shows the details of the cash that's coming into your business versus out. So it gives you a good idea on like making investments in your business, whether that's gear, whether that's working with coaching or whatever it is. The investments, the cash flow statements helps you decide on what to invest on. Cool. Okay, lastly, so taxes. So I did my own taxes for the first like 18 months of my business, and then I started using Collective to just save time and just guarantee accuracy. So again, if you're confident doing taxes, you can do them yourself. If you've already working with an accountant, then you probably don't need me to explain to you what to do here. But Collective, they do taxes for you. So what is it, like $3,600 a year? That includes the bookkeeping, that includes the taxes, all that preparation. So if you can afford that, great, use it. If you can't, then do it yourself. But just make sure that they're accurate here. So as a single member LLC, our LLC itself doesn't actually pay taxes. It's passed through to us. So what that means is like our LLC makes money, but then it's going to go onto our personal tax return. So they pass through to that personal tax return here. So again, quarterly taxes are going to be due the April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. In 2024, those were the dates. So the actual filing of taxes and all that stuff is beyond the scope of this course. Like if you need help with that, use TurboTax or consult a tax professional. But this should give you a great jumping off point for actually dealing with this stuff. So that's a quick overview of bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. Building a basic website. The goal here is going to be to build a website for you so that you have somewhere for your clients to go. When you have people you're pitching your service to, they have somewhere to see your work, see your offers, see what services you provide. Now, if you already have a website, I highly recommend you watch this video because we're going to cover a lot of important things here that we're going to be referencing later on in the offers course and the leads course. So it's going to be important to actually follow this framework so you have an idea of what a proper website looks like. So there's a way to structure a website to maximize the amount of clients you're going to be able to book. And I'm going to be teaching you this framework here today. We're also going to be walking through how to get a domain for your website and how to set that up properly. And that's going to be referenced in the cold email portions of the leads course. So it's going to be important to know like how to actually set up that domain here. So my goal here, if you don't have a website, the goal here is to launch a new website within a day. Okay. This is my expectation of you here. It's easy to do this. Like it's not that difficult to launch a website. You're going to take action. You're going to launch something. It's okay if it's not perfect, but we want to get something out there. Now, if you're still building your portfolio, that's okay. We can launch it without the full portfolio, but we're going to be adding a lot to our website in the offers course. So in the offers course, we're actually going to walk through the entire offers framework to really transform your packages into something you can sell for thousands of dollars rather than hundreds without having to learn any new skills. So that's going to be great for you. But for now, let's walk through building a basic website here. So first off, we're going to have to get a domain. So there's two ways to do it. There's the easy way and the hard way. So your domain, this is your website address. So for me, it's pietaproductions.com, creativebizlaunch.com, right? And for you, ideally, it's going to be a .com ending. So it's going to be your company name, .com. If there's no .coms available, I recommend maybe a .studio, but really push for that .com. That's going to be the best option here. It's just the gold standard for domains here. The easy route. So I'm going to be teaching Squarespace here because Squarespace is a really great all-in-one platform. It's competitively priced. It looks really good. There's already a lot of templates in there to make your website look good without you having to have a big design background or anything like that. And lastly, it's fast. Squarespace loads quickly. Everything works really well here. And it's for a good price point. It's my go-to thing I teach. It's what I use personally. It's what I recommend. There's a link below this video that will give you a discount on the services. So you're going to get 10% off and a free trial if you use the link down below and use my code here. It is an affiliate code, so I do get commission from that. But that being said, like I personally use Squarespace over other platforms, so I recommend it. If you don't want to use Squarespace, there are other options. So the hard route here, you can buy a domain separately from Squarespace and have to link it yourself. You can Google how to do that. Today I'm teaching you the easy way, the Squarespace way, because that makes the most sense for a lot of creatives. There are other website builders out there like WordPress, Wix. There's loads of different things out there, but this is the one that I recommend and what I teach my clients here. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to go to the link down below. So we're going to click on that link down below. That's going to get us to this menu here. What we're going to do is we're going to go to products and then navigate to find a domain. Okay. So the first thing that we have to do is buy a domain for our business. So let's go for my company. Let's just say I'm called Pieta Studios. So we'll look up pietastudios.com. We'll click enter there. And you can see that there's an exact match for this domain. So if this matches, great. If not, we'll have to keep looking. So what we're going to do is buy this domain. We're going to buy the one domain, click checkout, and then we're going to create our Squarespace account here. So we can just hit continue with email. And what you want to do here is for this one, you're just going to fill this out as it asks you. So we're going to fill out this information. Now I already have a Squarespace account, so I'm just going to log in with that. Let me pause here. So once you're in Squarespace, once you log in or set up an account, it's just going to walk you through these steps here. So you're going to save and continue here. It's going to ask you for the length, so just do 1 year here, and then your registration, your address, your payment, and then review, and then you're just going to process this and buy this domain yourself through Squarespace. Now it does renew every single year for this domain price, and that's normal with domains. And yeah, once you're set up, come back to this video and we'll go through the next steps here. So once you complete that payment and you set up your website or you set up your domain, you're gonna see this place, this screen. It's gonna show you that you bought that domain. It's setting it up here for you. And all you have to do here is either click done or click create a website. So we're gonna click create a website here. And from here, we can actually begin making our website. But before we go into this, let's actually walk through what a proper website needs. Okay, once we have our domain, we can actually begin building the website. So I'm going to walk you through what that looks like. The goal here again is to build a basic website for us. So if you don't already have a website, we're going to walk through the basic website, and then at the end of this video, I'll walk you through what a more advanced website looks like. But for now, let's just get something up there so that we can get a win under our belt. Okay, so for the basic website, we need a few different things here. The first three things we need a headline, we need a portfolio preview, and we need a call to action. So a lot of creatives mess up their websites because they don't have any of these. Having a headline is important because we're going to teach people what we do. So when someone visits our website, we want them to immediately know what we're about. So for photographers or videographers, we're going to illustrate what our service is and who we help. Next, we need a portfolio preview. So this is a piece of our portfolio. Let me make myself bigger here. This is pieces of our portfolio right at the top of our website, because a lot of creatives, they hide their portfolio unintentionally. You have to scroll to see the portfolio. You have to click into something to see the portfolio. That's bad. When we have a website with no portfolio visible on the front page, that's going to lead to less client deals. The website format I'm teaching you here today is a format that's going to help you close a lot more deals, because we're going to show ourselves to our clients right away. When someone visits our website, they're going to see, hey, this person's legit. They have a portfolio. I know what they're about right away, because attention is really short these days. So we have to hook the audience. We have to make them see our website and the value in it right away. Third, we need a call to action. So we need some sort of we need to tell the client what we want them to do. So if they visit our website, we want them to book a call or submit our contact form or email us to learn more. We need to give them a clear call to action of what we want them to do, because if we don't, they're less likely to do it. On top of that, we want more portfolio. We want an about us section. We want an FAQ section and a call to action section. I'll be walking through these in just a bit here, but let me walk you through what a basic website looks like. So in Squarespace, first off, what we can do is either use one of these templates to build our website. These are fine. Like, you can choose any of these and kind of customize them. But what I recommend is just click build your own template here. You'll just click let's go, and it's going to set things up for your website. And you're going to be able to build a website kind of from scratch here. So for your website, we're going to call it Pieta Studios because that's my company name that we just bought. Next, we're going to have an intro section. We're going to have we're going to have intro section. We're going to have an about section. Well, actually, let's not do these for now. We'll just start with the intro section for now. And that's all we need to get started. Pages, we'll have an about page and a contact page. We'll add more later on. We'll click next here. Color palette, I honestly would just go with monochromatic to start. Font, pick something simple, something that's easy for clients to read, so we can just go with Roboto for now. That's going to generate some pages for our website. So as it's generating pages, we'll be able to click into here and see our website. So let's personalize it without using this AI feature. So we'll click skip right there. And now we're in our website. So here we're in the Squarespace builder, and it's going to be very simple to use. All we have to do to start building on our website is we're going to click edit. Okay, and then we can start editing our website. So at the top here, this is going to be our header. So we're going to customize that to fit our needs. Below, we're going to be able to add sections to our website. So here, if we click add section, we can add a contact section. We can add, let me make myself little here. We can add an image section to bring in pieces of our portfolio with different styles here. We can add testimonials. We can add services. All these different things can get added to our website. So I'm not going to walk through like the actual nitty gritty of Squarespace. Like this changes all the time, and there's a lot of like really good resources on Squarespace on how I actually design this. It's pretty intuitive too. So if you wanted to add like a, let's just say portfolio section here, we would click on, let's just do this one here, this little carousel. So here we've added this carousel. You can see you can navigate back and forth here. Very nice. What you're going to do is click edit section on the right here, and this will allow you to edit every section that you have. You can edit the background, you can choose the colors here, all this good stuff. But what we want to do is actually hit edit content, which will allow us to then upload photos to this. So we'll upload our own imagery. So let's walk through what an actual website should look like. This will be, let me pull up this example here. Okay, so this is what a basic website looks like. I've created one for you guys that you can just like duplicate with that builder that I just talked about. So go into that builder and you can walk through this with me. So first off, we have this title section at the end, this headline at the top here. This is going to be your headline. So we help food and beverage CPG brands increase sales with product photos. So this will be your headline. Below your headline is the portfolio. So again, the portfolio goes next. So this is just pieces of my portfolio. I'm not hiding my portfolio. It's right at the front here. Below, we see some testimonials. If you have testimonials, great. If not, we can add those later on. So don't worry about that for now. Below here, we have a call to action, so called work with us. So this button actually takes you to the contact form on our website. So when you add the button here, you can have it take people to the contact form on your website. Here we have more of our portfolio, which is great. We have an about us section on the website. We have an FAQ, and we have another call to action down here. Okay, so this is fantastic. This is a basic website, and this is your goal here. Your goal is to set up this basic website using the tools Squarespace provides here. Now, in terms of like pages that we have that about page that we set up earlier in the automatic builder. We have the contact page. We have the portfolio page that we will have our portfolio on. So this is where our portfolio is actually going to live, on this portfolio page. So if we click exit here, we can see the different pages here. So on contact, we'll have our contact form, the about page. This will be more of the about your company, and the portfolio page. Well, this actually that's the wrong one. That links to my portfolio. Let me pull this up here because mine's a little. There we go. So that portfolio page will link to your portfolio, which will look like this. So you'll have the all of the images that you created in your portfolio. Okay, so that's kind of like what the website looks like. Let me walk through each of these components a bit more so that you understand why we want everything on our basic website. Okay, so on the basic website, we have that headline, we have that portfolio preview, we have that call to action, and then we have more of our portfolio, an about us section, FAQs, and call to action. So the fundamentals, we want to know our niche. We want to have a website built around our niche. Our website should include only things that are relevant to our niche. So we don't really want things outside of our niche. Our portfolio, our messaging, and our offer will all really be around the niche that we chose. At the top of our website, we have our headline. So we talked about headline briefly, but for a proper headline, all you really need is your service and then your target audience. So product photography for food and beverage brands. That's a very clean and simple headline. That's something that we want. What we don't want is just to have our brand name. So Pieta Productions is a bad headline, or photography services is a bad headline. Photographer based in Los Angeles, that's a bad headline. That's about you. You want to make this about the client, not you. So here is a more advanced headline that really showcases what you do and how you help people. So we help target audience dream outcome with your service. So we help food companies increase sales with product photography. That's a great headline. You clearly show like who you're helping, how you're helping them, what you're helping them with. So you're helping food companies increase sales with your service. So that can be a more advanced headline. We're going to revisit the headline in the offer section. So for now, all you really need is a basic headline with like product photography for food and beverage brands. Next, we have the portfolio. So the portfolio here is going to be what you created in the portfolio lesson. So you're going to have 20 photos or 4 to 9 videos that showcase the best of your work. These are going to be photos within your niche. We already covered a lot of this in that portfolio lesson, so you can revisit that if you need help building that portfolio. But make sure that it's only within your niche. If you're a product photographer, please don't put landscape photos or wedding photos on your portfolio. Just keep this niche down, okay? So if you need a portfolio, I'm not going to walk you through this again because we already covered that in the portfolio lesson. But once you create that portfolio, we're going to get this up on our website. Now, the contact form. The contact form on your website can either be on that main page that we walked through, or it can be on a separate web page on the website that you have to click through. Doesn't really matter. But the thing that is really important here is to just have a contact form that's simple. People overcomplicate their contact forms, and that is a bad thing because it's going to lead to less clients. Because the more complicated it is to contact you, the less people will contact you. That's what happens. If you have a 15 question contact form or a 10 question contact form that asks for project details, that asks for budget, that asks for all these things, people are less likely to fill it out and they're less likely to become a client of yours. So what we want to do is collect really basic things like name, email, project details, and maybe company name, but really those 3 things. And more people are going to fill out that form, and then you're going to email them after they fill it out. So they're going to contact you and you're going to contact them back right away, booking a call with them. Okay. So that's how the contact form works. I talk about contact forms a lot more in the leads course. So we're going to walk through those in that leads course and really get those dialed in, because the contact form, so many people mess this up. So keep them simple. Okay, the about page. So for your about section, just put up a professional photo of yourself, and here you can just like write a paragraph or 2 about your company. You can keep this simple. Here I have like an example of like company name provides your service to target audience. For this, like you probably know how to write an about page. If you really need help, you can use ChatGPT to kind of help with this. But next up, we have FAQs. So for FAQs, this is going to be important to kind of give your leads, the people that visit your website, an idea of what you do. So for this, if you have no idea how to do these, I would recommend using ChatGPT or Claude or some AI tool for this. I'll show you what I have on my website, and you can replicate those if you want to. But really, an AI service can help with these kinds of things. So what you would do is use ChatGPT and describe your business in like 5 to 6 sentences. The more you describe, the better. So you're going to describe your business, your service, your ideal customer, your niche, all this stuff. And then you're going to ask the AI to generate 15 or so questions for you, and you can pick your top 5 from there and put those on your website. Okay, so lastly, we have the call to action. So we're going to have some call to actions throughout our website, taking people to our contact form. So the goal of this call to action is to give people something to do. So they're going to see, okay, book a call or get more info or contact us. These are call to actions. They can click on this button and it'll take them to their contact form. The important thing here is like a lot of creatives don't put this because they assume people are going to contact them, but having a call to action just increases the amount of people that will actually contact you. So definitely include this in your website here. So what we talked about, this, I kind of went more in depth into the headline, into the portfolio preview, into the call to action, into the about us and the FAQ. So let me walk through my website again. So now that I've walked through this stuff, it's going to make a lot more sense for you. So here we have our headline. So you're going to create a very similar headline. Keep it simple. Don't get too fancy with this. Like, don't try and make it super artsy either. Like, you don't have to put this like on a fancy background. You can just have a plain white or black background or blue or whatever you want here. But keep this simple. Next will be your portfolio. So again, we want that portfolio front and center. You're going to use Squarespace to kind of build this out. If you have testimonials, those will go under that portfolio here. If you don't, that's okay. We'll learn how to get those later on in the course, and we'll get those on our website. The work with us. So this is our call to action. So this will link, if you click on this, this links to the contact form. So that's what we want. Below that call to action, more of our portfolio, more about like what we're about. We're visually showing people what we do. So we'll put more portfolio pieces on here. Again, keep this simple. Like you can use like a 9x9 square grid like this. And what's nice about Squarespace is they optimize this stuff for mobile too. So making sure that your website is mobile friendly will be super important. So this looks beautiful on mobile as well. Cool. Under that, we have our About Us page. So I briefly mentioned this earlier, but again, this is going to be a couple paragraphs about what you do, a photo of you, make this personal, put yourself on there so people know what you're about. Below that will be our FAQs. So these are mine that I have. So this is like an FAQ section from Squarespace. So you can just, again, if you want to build this out, you just you go to add section and then you add this to your website. You can see what kinds of FAQs I have here. So this is just what I do. And then lastly, the call to action. So this links to that contact form. Now, if you click that, it'll take you to my contact page. And here it's a very simple contact form. It's first name, last name, email, and how can we help. So they submit this. And when you're setting up your contact form, make sure you link it to your email. So if you add this contact form and you click edit section, it should prompt, you'll click edit this form. It'll give you a storage option. So here, this is where you'll fill out your email notification so that you can actually get submissions for your contact form. And once you're getting those submissions, you'll have leads coming into your business. So it's really important to set up this email notification so people can actually contact you. And then like the portfolio page, you want a separate portfolio page on your website with your entire portfolio. You don't want the entire portfolio on the main page. You can just have that as a separate page. And the About page. So we have our About page on our website, so we don't actually need to have a separate page, but it'd be nice to have. But yeah, this is just the portfolio here. Okay, so going back to the home page. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Going back to the home page, we have a lot of good stuff here. But I want to walk through one last thing to wrap this up. So the goal of the website here, let me make myself a little nicer here. The goal of the website is to get a quick win. We want to get this website up and running. So if anyone asks us for it, we can share it right away. This website is powerful. It's good. It showcases what we do and what we're capable of. But this website is not ready for a cold email yet. So we're going to be going through the offers course and really diving into the copy around our website and really optimizing it to make it ready for cold outreach. And what that's going to look like, I'll give you a sneak preview here. So what we have already, we have the headline, we have the portfolio preview, we have the call to action. But for those watching that are more advanced and already have a website, you can update that through the offers course, and for everyone else as well. We'll be having these 4 things at the top here. So we're familiar with these, but we're going to have a lot more things once we get past that top part. So we're going to have more portfolio previews, a benefit section, then we're going to have more portfolio, a process section, what's included, a call to action, credibility, about us, credibility, FAQs, and call to action. So this is what we're covering in the offers course, like how to actually write this. So let me show you my current website is pietaproductions.com. This is my client-facing website. And here you see it's similar to what I showed you. You have that headline on top, but below you have my portfolio preview, and it kind of looks a little different. So they can easily click into my portfolio to see more of this stuff. Then they have the credibility, and then the call to action here. But now we have a benefit section. So this is kind of showing like what differentiates my company from others. And we're going to learn how to do this in the offer section. So don't worry. This is like the framework on how to charge thousands. So we'll get into that. But here, it's just a bunch of benefits of like what it's like to work with me, more credibility. So these are testimonials from my clients, my process. So here I outline what it's like to really work with me. We have more of my portfolio here, which is great for people to be able to see. We have another call to action, another more about the method and benefits of working with me, credibility, case studies. Like this is going to be powerful for cold emailing, what my clients are saying. So more testimonials, peek at one of my packages, about us, FAQs. So you're familiar with this part, and then get a price, link to my contact form to book a call with me. So that's what a more advanced website looks like. So this was a very meaty lesson. There's a lot we covered. we set up our domain, we set up our website on Squarespace. Now on Squarespace, it's really easy to use, so I'm not going to like walk you through individually how to do that because that would be a very long video. If you need help with that, like Squarespace has good resources, YouTube has good resources on that kind of thing, so look that up. But for this basic website, we want to have, again, the headline, the portfolio preview, the call to action. We don't want to hide that portfolio. Do not if you have a website that has a click into your website thing. So for example, you go to pietaproductions.com. If it said click here to access or click here to get to the portfolio, that's not what we want. We want everything to be on that front page, front and center there. So we want that headline, portfolio preview, that call to action, then more of the portfolio, the about us, the FAQ, and another call to action. So very meaty lesson here, a lot to do here, but get that website up and running. This should take you a day, no more. Put that portfolio up there. And once that's up and running, I'll see you in the next lesson because we got to talk about some very important things here. Business email. Let's get our emails set up properly because this is the easiest way to be more professional with your leads and with your clients. I see so many photographers and videographers using a gmail.com, and this is terrible because it lowers so much credibility with clients. When a potential client gets an email from chrispietaphoto@gmail.com, they see that I'm not a real business. They don't perceive me as a professional. Versus someone who gets an email from chris@pietaproductions.com, well, that's way more professional. I own my own domain. I'm willing to pay the extra $6 a month to have this. And clients who get cold emails from gmail.com will not respond to them. And for the very few that do, it's going to be a lot harder to sell them because you don't appear professional to them. So if you're emailing people from a gmail.com address, stop that and let's set up our business emails properly. Okay. So, this is a non-negotiable. To do this, we're going to go to Google Workspace. So workspace.google.com. If we already own the domain, then that's perfect. We can just easily link to them. We're going to set up our email with our first name, add our company name. And then we can use this email account for all of our business softwares. Anywhere we have to use our email, it's going to be great. So, we just purchased our domain in our previous course, pietastudios.com. We're going to open up an email account with Pieta Studios. So we're going to be chris@pietastudios.com. So I'll walk you through how to do this in a moment here. But first off, this is not going to be your cold email account. That's going to be something separate. We don't want to have our main email account be our cold email account. We'll be talking later on in the leads course on all the DNS settings, all the authentication steps, all the stuff for the cold email account. This is just going to be your main account that you're going to be communicating with your clients with. Okay, so I just wanted to note that here because cold email is different from your main account. Okay, so let's get this set up here. We're going to go to the link below this video, workspace.google.com. We're going to click on Get Started here. We're going to type our business name in, Pieta Studios, just me, United States. Okay. This is just the quick form that we're going through. Chris Pieta at pietaproductions.com. So for your current email, you can do whatever email you're using. It's probably a Gmail for you, so just do that. Okay, so here you probably won't see this, but if you do, you're going to select create a new Google Workspace account. We already have our domain, so we can use set up using your existing domain. So we'll click on this, and then we'll type our domain in. So the one that we bought in the previous lesson, pietastudios.com. We're going to click next. This is going to be our username and password. So I'm going to pause while I do this. So this should be Chris. So first we'll do Chris at Pieta Studios. So your first name at your domain. And then for password, I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so this is loading. We submitted this. It's going to tell us the price for this. So what we want to do is we're just going to pick the lowest one here. So it's probably, I think this is the lowest plan they have. So $7.20 a month. We're going to click try free for 14 days. Here you're just going to fill out your info for them to be able to charge you. So you're going to fill this out and then click agree and continue. So you'll just go through these dialogues that Google is presenting you, and your account should be set up. So you'll be greeted with the admin console. You can just walk through whatever Google tells you to do here. they're pretty good about just walking you through this stuff. So they're going to help you set up your account here. So you'll just click next. They'll give you a tour of your domain and stuff. So the first thing you have to do is verify ownership of your domain. So we're going to have to do that. You can create additional accounts, which usually isn't necessary. Then we'll have to activate our Gmail. So we're just going to go through what Google tells us to do, and we're going to verify this. So we're going to click protect here, and we're going to have to publish a new DNS record to verify this. So I'm going to click I'm ready to protect, and you're just going to walk through what Google's telling you. So this may change. These exact steps may change depending on what Google asks you to, but for the most part, this should be very simple, and you should be able to just do this by following these steps here. So we're going to just do what Google says. We're going to log into Squarespace, and once you're in Squarespace, you're going to hit domains at the top here, and then go to your new domain. So for me, it's pietastudios.com. We're going to then click into the DNS settings here. And this is what we're after. We want to get to this page. Once we're at this page, we're going to be able to add DNS settings. So if you're familiar with these, great. If not, I'll be walking you through these. This is something that we're going to be doing in the leads course too for a cold email. So for our main domain, let's go ahead and do that here. So we've gotten to the DNS settings here. Next, we're going to go to step 2. We're going to click below, copy this, and we're just going to copy what Google has here. So we're just going to follow this word for word here. So we're going to have to create a new text record. So what we're going to do, go here. We're going to click add record under custom records, right? The record type is going to be a text record. The host here, we're going to add just the @ for data, we're going to copy and paste what Google gave us here. Okay. And then we're going to hit save. And this should allow us to verify our domain with Google. So now we're just protecting our domain. We're going to hit protect domain. Now sometimes this takes a while to populate, so if it's not working, come back like 5 minutes later. Okay, so a few more things we have to do here. So first off, let's go ahead and we're going to skip this part too because we don't need new users, but we're going to activate Gmail. So we're going to click activate here. We're going to click I'm ready to activate. And here we're going to do this inside of Squarespace. So again, we're going to sign into Squarespace to get to that DNS settings that we already have. Now we should already have this in another page. So you know how to get to here. It's your domains and then your DNS section. So here you're going to click on, you already did this. So we're going to go click to get to step 2. And here you're going to enter all these records from Google. So these are going to help you activate your actual Gmail account. So what we're going to do, Squarespace is really nice because these are already preset here. So what we can do is add preset, click on Google Workspace MX. And this is going to add these custom records for you without you having to do anything. So what this did, it actually did everything that Google wanted you to do here. So this saves you a lot of time here, right? So with this, so we're going to add the records from the Squarespace, and then we're going to click activate Gmail here. And we're going to just wait for this to activate. Now this should work. If it's not working, then we'll have to go back and add them. So we can see these have all added. So great job. MX records have been updated. So we were successfully able to add these with inside of Squarespace, right? So that's really good. And what we'll do here, we'll click on finish. And then those records are set up and ready for now. So we'll click on OK, skip for now. And then we'll be good. So next, so we have the domain connected to Squarespace in this Squarespace domain section. There's a few more records we actually have to create to ensure that our emails are getting to the inbox, that they're going to be getting delivered. So this is going to be pretty simple to do once you know what to do. So, but it might seem kind of complex from like the tech end. So I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible. So we already have this one record here, but we're going to have to add a few more. So first off, go into your Google Workspace account and navigate to the admin console. Okay, so here, this is your admin console. To get here, log into your Google Workspace and then click these 3 dots. And here, scroll until you find the admin section. So this is what it looks like. You can also go to admin.google.com. It should also take you there. But you'll click admin. It'll take you here. And now we have to add a few records. So first off, we have to find our DKIM record. So we're going to type DKIM. We're going to click DKIM authentication. Now for you, this might be turned off. So make sure this is turned on. If it's turned on, this may be blank at the start. So if it's blank, what you're going to do is click generate new record. You're going to click generate, and this will be unique to you. So what you're going to do here is you're going to have this open in one tab and your Squarespace domain open in the other. So you're going to be navigating back and forth between these two. So what you're going to do is copy this first piece here exactly how it says. Make sure there's no spaces and you just copy what's here. So you're going to copy this. You're going to go into custom records. You're going to hit add record. You're going to add the host, which is this. You're going to select the text record here, and then you need the data here. So what's this going to be? Well, go back here and grab this entire thing here, copy it. Again, don't copy this here, only the bold part. So it should start with v equals dkim, and then this will be unique to you. So this will probably be different for you, so don't use mine. And then you're going to go back to domains, click text, hit save, and that should populate. So that's going to be your first record. We have to add a couple more. So next, we're going to go back into Workspace, look up SPF. So hit SPF. Whoops, that should search for that again. Okay, so search for SPF, and then you should see this screen. There should be a link on the right here that says add your SPF record to your domain provider. So click on that. And here it'll tell you exactly what to do. So I'll walk you through this. So here, all we have to do is grab this green record. So this should be identical for you as well. So this is, I think everyone gets the same record here. So just grab this whole thing and then go back to domains, click add record. Now this is your SPF record. The host here is going to be @ so just do the @ symbol. The record type will be text, and the text here is going to be what you just copied, so the SPF record. You'll hit save, and this will populate here. So you have the @ the text, and then you'll have the record here. Now there's one more that we have to add, and this one is called a DMARC record. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website dmarkian.com. We're going to create an account on here. So I'll just do that here. I'll pause this while I do this so you don't have to go through it. So once you log in, you'll see this screen. This will probably be blank for you, but you're going to do add domains here. You're going to add in your domain that you just used for your Google Workspace account. So you'll click add domains, and then they'll add it here. So what you'll see is we've already added the SPF record. So it's actually showing that we have that, which is great. The DKIM record, it's still waiting for data. So this will populate probably as you send emails out. So this will turn green eventually. And then DMARC is what we want to add right now. So we're going to click these arrows here, and it'll show the DMARC record for us. So what we're going to do is we need these two things. So first off, we're going to publish a DMARC record at here. So what we're going to do is grab this part here. So we want to grab this first part here. So the DMARC, this part. So just underscore DMARC. That's all you need. You don't want anything else. Okay, this is really important. You only want this front part. Do not add the second part here. Okay, this is really, really important. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go back to the domain section. So the DNS settings. So you're going to add a new record, and here you're going to copy and paste that first section. So this is all you're adding. Okay, you're not adding anything else here. This is really, really important. Okay, then you're going to go back here. You're going to grab the rest here. You're going to copy that. And you're going to select record type. So this will be a text record. And then you're going to copy and paste that second part here. So what we're copy and pasting here, this is this whole thing. Okay. And then we're going to click save. And that's going to run in the background. And from here, we've got our email set up. So congrats. This, what you've done right now, is something most people don't do. And because they don't do this, they land in spam. So what happens is people will send emails to potential clients. Let's just say they're sending cold emails, and they send like 100 and they get like 1 response back. So what happened? Oftentimes they didn't have this set up properly, so they landed in spam. Now we're going to teach you how to actually build out the cold email system in the leads course. But for now, this is how we set up the cold email settings inside of our Google Workspace account. So make sure that you have all this set up, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing for our cold email address that we create later on. But for now, you're in good hands. So make sure that you do this with your main sending domain, and I will teach you everything else in that leads course. Once we have this domain up and running, we're going to have to warm it up. So warming up an email domain is important for a few reasons, but mainly it's so that we can land in the inbox and not spam. Whenever someone creates a new account, it's going to probably land into spam folders automatically. And the reason for this is Google doesn't want like some scammer to open up 1,000 accounts and then email 1 million people with their scams, right? So Google has like this process for warming up your email accounts that just shows Google that, hey, you're legit, you're a real person, you're communicating real things here, you're not just someone that's trying to scam people. Okay, so that's why we have to warm up your email account. And to do this, there's two methods. There's a manual method or an automated method. I'll teach you the manual one here today, and both the automated one later in the leads course. But for the manual method, we're going to subscribe to 10 to 15 newsletters with that new email. And also, we're going to send emails daily to our other email account. So we're going to reply back to ourselves every time when we send these emails. So for example, I have my new Pieta Studios account, so Chris at Pieta Studios. What I would do is I would email my personal inbox and then reply back to that email every day. So on the first day, I would send 1 email. On the second day, I would send 2. On the 5th day, I would send 5. And then once I get to day 5, I'm going to continue doing 5 a day for about 2 to 4 weeks. And that's what it takes to warm up your email. And this is really important to do. So you want to reply back and forth. If it lands in spam, you want to mark it as not spam. You want to keep that email warmed up here. Now, the easier thing to do is to use a tool called Lemwarm. Now for Lemwarm, you could just go lemwarm.com, set up an account, and follow those steps there. I'll be walking you through how to do that in the leads course. So that's going to be, if you want to skip ahead to that, feel free. But for that, we just go to lemwarm.com to warm us up, and it's going to skip this process for us. Okay, so that is our main account. We've linked it to our main domain using the DNS settings. So we've updated those DNS settings. Now, again, this is not going to be our cold email account. Our cold email account will come later. And for that one, we have to do a few more things to really ensure that lands in the inbox versus in spam folders. This one, we don't have to do all these things yet because we're not emailing random people with this. We're going to be emailing clients who expect to hear from us. So that's why we have this one set up this way. So now with the business email account, start using it for all your business communications, and enjoy that domain that is your business. So Chris at Pieta Productions, that feels good to say. It feels good to give out that email. So hopefully you feel the same way. I'll see you in the next one. Social media pages. Social media is where a lot of stuff happens. So it's important for us to set up our social media properly because it's going to lead to clients down the road. Now, you're not going to get clients today or tomorrow from social media. This is something that you set up now. You invest your time and your energy into today so that months down the road, you start getting clients from it. Before you really dive into posting like every single day on this, remember to consult that Creative Biz Launch method video where I break down what you should be focusing on depending on where you're at in your business. So if you're at that like 1 to 5K a month mark, social media isn't the main focus for you. It should be cold outreach. If you're at that 5 to 10K or 10K plus, then we can start focusing more on social media. But that video is going to help you decide where to focus your time on. But for now, let's get ourselves set up on social media. So first off, this is just a quick overview. We'll be going way more in depth into the full strategy, the posting strategy, how to create viral videos, what types of content to post to land clients. That's going to be in the leads course. But for now, let's get set up. So first off, Instagram. Do we need a separate account for our business? I almost always recommend this. So for me, I have my Chris Pieta account and my Pieta Productions account. Pieta Productions is where my photography and videography business lives. Chris Pieta is my account where I talk about creative business. So for you, if you have an account already where you're posting photography or videography, you can use that for your account here. But if you're just starting out, then I recommend just making a separate one right off the bat here. If you already have a really big following on one account, well, then what you can do is niche down on this account and just post stuff with your niche that we already established. So with social media, we want to niche down. Niching down is just as important on social media as it is on our website because we're building a business around a niche. This isn't just like a one-time thing where we just post on our website. We want our social media to be just as niche down. So our social media is all about the same. We're targeting the same people, targeting the same service, and we're posting content on there that's within our niche. Okay, so if you've already got a really big account, then I would suggest you just niche down into whatever niche you chose. If you don't have a big account already, well, then you can open up a new business account for your brand, and let's start building it. So if we want to build an account, we need to first establish our bio. So our bio should have a very clear statement on about what we do. So for me, Pieta Productions, photos and videos that drive sales for CPG brands. So this is a very clear statement on what I do. I describe my service, photos and videos. I describe what it does, drive sales. I describe who it helps, CPG brands. So I do that in one statement. Okay, so I kind of tackled this first and second thing with that first sentence here, but then I go on to say, increase your brand awareness. So I kind of have another statement there that kind of shows what benefit I offer, the result that I drive for clients. I have a call to action that is case studies and client success stories. So that's okay. If you're trying to really be landing more clients, I would suggest something like book a call or click here to learn more. Some call to action that drives people to your website. View our case studies is another good one. So you can have something like that or similar to what I'm doing here. And lastly, you want that website link in your bio as well. So having an actual website link is a non-negotiable thing, right? So we spent the time, we built our website. So put that link in the bio. A few other things. So for my profile picture, I just have a logo. For you, you can either put a logo or a headshot, a professional headshot of yourself. Either works here. And then for the name, for my name, I just have Pieta.Productions. Ideally, try and make this as clean as possible. Ideally, you get your name. If not, work around it. But yeah, keep that bio very simple with just a clear statement on what you do. You want to make it about them, not about yourself. So using this framework will really help you stand out in a crowded market. The biggest mistake I see with bios is people don't make it clear that you actually sell a service. So when someone goes to my page, I want to be very clear that I work with paying clients. What I don't want is I do not want to appear as a hobby photographer or someone who's just posting incredible photos for fun. I am a business and I want to be treated as such. So my bio indicates that. Again, make sure that your bio shows that you're a business and not some sort of hobbyist. Okay. Cool. Content strategy. Okay, so for content strategy, we want to niche down, obviously, and we're going to post relevant content to our niche. So when you create your account over the next 5 days, post 9 photos. So post 2 posts a day for the next 9 days, just your best portfolio pieces, just get those up there so that when someone goes to your account, they see on their phone that you have an actual grid of photos because you want at least 9 things there. So get those 9 photos or videos posted there. And then once you get those posted, try and start posting at least once a week, both photo and video to start building your brand up. Everyone can do once a week on Instagram, so just start posting there. If you've already created your portfolio, you have 20 photos or 9 videos that you can be posting on Instagram, so that's great. For every client project that you do, you're going to have 10 pieces of content, everything from a testimonial, a case study, your process of working with a client, the actual deliverables. There's a lot of content you can be posting here. And also for your Instagram stories, you can use that for behind the scenes content and putting your personality out there. So keep the grid kind of more professional, more what your processes are like, what your portfolio is like, your results that you drive, and your Instagram stories, that could be more behind the scenes stuff, more casual, some of your interests, showing yourself in your stories is good to build connection with your most loyal followers. Again, we're going really in depth in the lead section. So for now, just follow these guidelines. Next, for LinkedIn. So for anyone that is a B2B business, so this is product photographers, brand photographers, commercial videographers, videographers working with restaurants, videographers working with other businesses, anyone that's in the business to business space should be on LinkedIn. So what do we need to do here? Let me pull up my LinkedIn and I'll show you kind of what I have. But we're going to walk through these first. So LinkedIn, we're going to have a personal profile. Okay, so let me pull that up here in just a second. Okay, so we're on my LinkedIn page here. So you can see my personal profile. Let me make myself smaller here. So this is my personal profile. this is specific to Creative Biz Launch. So when I was just doing photography and videography, this looked different. So I'll explain what to do here. So you should have a headline that's really similar to your Instagram headline. So maybe it's I help food and beverage brands get more sales through product photography. Something along those lines, similar to your website headline. Illustrate what you do, who you help, and how you help them. Just grab those three things in your headline here. For your cover photo, so here you could have text, you don't need to. What I would recommend doing is actually having some portfolio pieces here. So maybe like 4 or 5 photos in your headline here that illustrate your portfolio and your skill set. So that's what you would have up here when someone just visits your profile. Obviously a professional photo here. And here, this is going to be my company page. So we want both a personal page and a company page. So if we click on this, we go to my experience, but then if you click on Creative Biz Launch again, we're now in my company's page. So here I just have this is Creative Biz Launch. Let's go to Pieta Productions. So my Pieta Productions page, this is where my photography and videography company exists. So this is just a page on LinkedIn that is a business, which I can then link to my experience and have all this stuff here. So if you click on this cover photo, this is kind of what I was talking about here. How can I get to there? Page posts, edit page maybe. Maybe it's up here. So anyways, like you can see this photo up here. This is, sorry, I'm really struggling here. This is what my cover photo used to be for my LinkedIn page, where it was the a few portfolio pieces kind of like stitched together there. You can, oh, there we go. So you can see what this looks like. You can see like there's 5 photos there stitched together, and then photo and video that drive sales. So some text on there, something really simple that you can add to your own page as well. And this could be the same thing you have on your personal page. So this is your company page. Create this quickly. The company page, yeah, you add a logo for that profile picture. You add a banner with portfolio pieces, and that's all you really have to do for that LinkedIn company page. There's not really much else you need to do with that company page. So let's focus on our personal profile. On our personal profile, let me grab this again here. So for our personal profile, we already talked about how we want to have a headline. So we want this headline here that talks about what you do, who you do it for, and kind of like how you help them, what your main offer is. Here, you're just going to have a image with like a few portfolio pieces. So you can make that in Canva. That's what I did, like super simple, nothing too crazy there. Next, you can put your website here. So for here, I would actually put Pieta Productions if you're trying to grow your photo or video business. So you put your website link there. And then for featured, you can just have a link to your website as well here. About page, this can be really similar to what we wrote on our website for our about section. So I would just like keep it simple, just copy that here. Nothing too crazy there. And then for experience, so for here, I would link the company page that you made. You would just add that as experience. I would put you as the founder or the creative director or the owner of that company. And then you would just write something briefly about that company. Once we go through the offer section, we can actually enhance this even further. So for now, don't really worry about making this like super perfect. In the offer section, you'll learn more about copywriting and all that stuff. So then we can add that copy into our LinkedIn profile and have that in there. So that's really all there is for like setting up LinkedIn. In terms of what content to post, well, it's going to be really similar to Instagram. But the distinction here is LinkedIn there's a lot of written stuff on LinkedIn versus Instagram is mainly images and videos. So for LinkedIn, yes, we're also going to share images and we're going to share videos, but we're also going to write a lot around them. So if we're sharing a image to our LinkedIn page, we want to write up what went behind the scenes of that image, who that image was for. Maybe we can write up like the creative direction process where we worked with our client to create a vision for their brand, and that was the image that we came up with. Maybe we're going to share a testimonial, and then we can walk through the process that was like to work with that client, right? So we're going to be writing a lot more on LinkedIn, really just describing what it's like to work with clients, starting to paint a picture to our LinkedIn connections, to our followers of like, hey, I work with clients. This is what I do good work. So this is why you should work with me. So we're building our brand on Instagram. We're building our brand on LinkedIn, but the mistake here is don't devote too much time to this because we're going to be mainly focusing on outreach until we get to that 5K a month mark. So that's LinkedIn. Now there's other social networks out there as well. There's going to be TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. There's lots of places to post. Currently in 2024, these two are the top ones, Instagram and LinkedIn. You want to primarily focus on these because you don't want to dilute your energy too much on the other ones. Instagram is great because it has features other platforms don't. Instagram allows you to post photos, post videos. The photos are going to go to your followers. The videos can reach people that aren't following you so you can grow quicker. And something about Instagram that other platforms don't have is you have the freedom to message anyone you want on that platform, including your followers. So when people follow you on Instagram, you should be messaging them, asking why they're following you, forming connections, seeing if you can build a relationship with them. Because if they're a potential client, you'll build that relationship through the DMs and eventually hop on a call with them and hopefully work with them. So that's why Instagram is great for building your photo or video brand on there. LinkedIn is great because a lot of professionals hang out on LinkedIn. It's where business happens. People are expecting business on LinkedIn. So that's why our content strategy is kind of tailored towards that. When we are posting on LinkedIn, it's all talking about like the business benefits of our photos, how our photos help businesses, all that good stuff. So focus your efforts on Instagram and LinkedIn first. And maybe later on, you can branch out to other platforms, but only once you are able to master growth on these two. Because if you can master growth on these two, it'll be easier to grow on other platforms as well. Okay, so next up we have, we already talked about LinkedIn content. Last note on B2B versus B2C. So if you're taking this course, I'm guessing you're in the B2B space. You're working with other businesses. You're working with restaurants. You're working with online e-commerce brands. You're working with global brands. You're working with smaller brands. Okay, you're a product photographer. You're a brand videographer. Whatever it is, you're working with businesses. Social media will be more important long-term for you, but it's going to be a really good idea to set this up right now in the short term because early on, we're going to spend a lot more time on outreach than social media. Okay, for everyone else that's here, you're in the B2C space. So these are the wedding photographers, the portrait photographers. If you're a family photographer, right? You're in the B2C space. You're working with consumers, business to consumers. And outreach doesn't really work as well in this space. So you're going to be focusing most of your efforts on social media here. You're going to be building up your brand through there. And that's how you're going to be landing clients. This course and Creative Biz Launch will still be helpful if you're in the B2C space because you'll learn a lot about that, but it's going to be way more helpful for the B2B people out there. So product photographers, brand videographers, people doing corporate videos, all this stuff, working with businesses. This is what this program is really made for. So if you're in the B2B space, start your social media pages, put in a little bit of effort here and build that brand. But really, we're going to focus more on social media here. So with that, if you're not sure how much time to spend on social media, go ahead and rewatch that Creative Biz Launch method video because there I'm going to outline if you're like, depending on where you're at in terms of revenue, if you're at $0 versus like $1,000 to $5,000 a month, you're going to be spending more time on outreach. If you're on like the 5 to 10K a month or 10K plus, you're going to spend more time on social media than on outreach. So definitely watch that video to know where to spend your time most effectively. With that, get social media set up the right way and start posting. The Google Business Profile. This is a must for your business. You're going to set this up so that you increase your credibility as a business. You're going to appear in Google as a little business on the right side there. It's going to allow you to collect testimonials from clients. So using the Creative Biz Launch method, we know that part of it is to get testimonials and reviews from clients, and clients can directly add those to Google, give you 5-star reviews for your awesome service. And also, if you're a local business, it could boost your SEO. And this is free. So it makes sense why we want to do this, right? So let's walk through, let me show you mine here. So let's look up Pieta Productions. So this is just Googling my business name. So Pieta Productions, you see I pop up right here. And on the right, you actually see my business profile here. So you can see my photos here. You can see the area that I serve. You can see all this good stuff here. So if you click in, you see the area that I service. I have like this cover photo. That's just a few photos that I've taken. You can upload your own photos once you create this. I'll walk you through how to do that. I'll walk you through how to do that in just a second here. But yeah, so We're going to set up this on this website, so business.google.com/create. Hopefully this is still the same when you're watching. I mean, Google is notorious for always changing the name of things. So maybe a month from now it's different. Hopefully not. Should not be changed, but if it is, you have Google to blame for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to log in. We're going to go to business.google.com/create, and we're going to log in with our Google account. So ideally, this is the Google Workspace account that we've already set up. We're going to enter our business name. We're going to enter our business category. So let me actually walk you through how this works. So we'll go here. I'm already logged into Google. We're going to add our business to Google. We're going to click that. Let's just make up a business name. So we'll do Pieta Studios, create a business with this name, business category. So let's see, photographer. We can just do that. Commercial photographer. I'd rather do that. Then we'll click next. So from here, it'll ask us, do you want to add a location customers can visit, like a store or office? You can. I would say no here. So with that, if you say yes, it's going to ask for a business address. I'm not going to walk you through this entire setup because I don't want to establish a second business on Google. But what you're going to do is you're going to select no for that. If you select yes, you can actually create a radius. So here, let me actually do this. So we'll do next. No here. Where do you serve customers? So this is important. So I'm going to do Chicago. So Chicago, Illinois. Then I'll click next. Yeah, we're just going to fill all this information out, the phone number, the website. Just go through the steps that Google asks. Now, at some point, you're going to get asked if you're a service provider rather than a storefront. So you're going to click service provider instead of storefront, because if you're a storefront, you have to provide an address for Google. If you're a service provider, you can just add in a few zip codes to your profile instead of an actual address. So that's what I've done. If you go to like my page, like I don't have an actual address listed on here. It's just a range in Chicago, and that's just what I've done. So it's worked for me. So you'll do something similar for your area. You'll add a phone number, you'll add a website, and you'll add an address. Now you want to hide that address from being publicly available. So you can hide that from being publicly available, and you should. So since I work from home most of the time, I have a UPS mailbox that serves as my business address. So that's the business address I use. Again, if you're using your home address, you can hide that from Google. So make sure to hide that if you decide to do that. What's going to happen once you submit all this information to Google, you're going to have to verify your listing. So the last part of this entire process is Google is going to send you a postcard in the mail to that address that you put in to make sure that that's an actual business. So they'll send you the postcard. It's going to have like some sort of number to put in or some sort of like 6-digit code. You're going to put that in. That's going to verify your listing. Once you verify that, you're going to go and finish the listing. So you're going to add a business description of what you do, and you're going to add some photos from your portfolio or a video from your portfolio here so that you know, so that people see like what you're all about here. Now, after you're done with the offers course, I want you to actually come back to this and update your Google business profile with all the copy that we learned in that course, everything that we learned in the offers course. Come back and update your Google business profile with some of that, so it makes you more appealing to potential clients. That's all I got in Google business profile. Set this up earlier rather than later because it does take some time to verify your listing. And from there, you should be good to go. All right, let's wrap this up. Over the past 2.5 hours, you've learned how to actually start a legitimate photo and video business. Now, you have a profitable niche that clients will pay premium rates for, a professional business structure with an LLC, bank accounts, and proper insurance, a website and social media that positions you as an expert, not a hobbyist, email systems that land in the inbox and not the spam folder, social media accounts that attract paying clients, and the foundation that you need to bring in multi-$1,000 deals. Now, this is more business knowledge than most photographers and videographers learn in their first 2 years. But here's the reality. Having a business foundation is just step one. You've built the vehicle, but now you need to know how to drive it. So you have a niche, but how do you find those clients? You have a website, but what actually converts browsers into $5,000 plus projects? You have a business structure, but how do you actually pitch clients, close deals on discovery calls, and get them coming back for more retainers? That is the difference between the 1% who build a sustainable creative business and the 99% who struggle project to project. Now, my students Aaron, Victoria, Sean, and hundreds of others didn't stop here. They learned the complete system: positioning, marketing, sales, and fulfillment. And that's how Erin went from $75 gigs to 5-figure months. That's how Victoria replaced her corporate income. And that's how Sean built a business that runs with systems. If you want the complete roadmap, the exact system that's helped nearly 200 creatives grow their business, I put everything in my Creative Biz Launch program. But don't take my word for it. Go implement what you learned today, start your LLC, build your website, find your niche, and see the difference that this foundation makes. The link to the Creative Biz Launch program is in the description, along with some free resources and links to help you implement everything we covered today. Remember, you cannot lose if you do not quit. Most people will watch this video and do nothing. Don't be most people. Pick your niche today, start your LLC this week, and build the creative business you actually want. My name is Chris Pieta. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next one.